Happy Friday. Welcome to the AM show on Joy News, your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. This morning, a gentle reminder that it's 36 more days to go for the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. My name is Sweetie Abochi, and I do this with Benjamin Akakpo. This morning, we'll start by serving you the AM news, the latest updates on everything happening in and around the country. After that, we'll sit with our guests to review the newspapers and the stories in there and how it resonates with you and I. Today, we'll be joined by Ishaq Ibrahim. He's a senior lecturer at the UPSA Law School, as well as Isaac Odamting, an NDC parliamentary candidate for Tema East. Both gentlemen joining us to review the newspapers and the stories in there. After that, we bring you Prime Take with Muftar Nabila Abdullahi for our AM Sports segment. Today is a Friday, and so Benjamin Akakpo gets to share his blunt thoughts with you. I cannot wait to see where he takes us to today on his blunt thoughts. And then, of course, we get into our big stories. Because the 36 days to go for the elections, we will be bringing you Constituency Watch. And today, we'll take you to Anglogan constituency, where electorates are intensifying their calls for a fair share of the national resources. High on their list are demands for employment opportunities, agro-processing facilities, and an end to illegal mining. As a youth press for these changes, the two leading candidates on the tickets of the NDC and the NPP face off over who has the best record to lead the people. Of course, my colleague Carlos Caloni is on that beat, and he will take us on a journey to Anglogan constituency in the Volta region, and that will be our latest edition of Constituency Watch. You don't want to miss any of the conversations coming on this morning on the AM show. We are on from now to 10 a.m. and you can join the conversations via social media. We are Joy News on TV. Share your thoughts with us, and hopefully today at the tail end of the program we get to open the phone lines and interact with you, our regular Kojos and Amas. My name is Sweetie Abochi. Let's get into the AM news now. It's a pleasure to have you join us. This is the AM News. Let's get straight into it. Starting with, the Attorney General has been given 7 more days to file his statement of case in the matter of some cases filed challenging the constitutionality of the anti-LGBTQ bill. Now, the AG made an application in court asking for more time to file the relevant document, and it comes on the heels of lawyers splitting hair over the submission of a fiscal impact analysis in court. Member of our Legal Affairs Desk, Kweku Asante, reports.
The two cases filed by Richard Elaskai and Dr. Amanda Odoy challenging the constitutionality of the anti-LGBTQ bill came up again at the Supreme Court for hearing, this time by a single judge to hear some interlocutory matters. The Attorney General's Department filed an application asking for more time to file a statement of case.
Yes, my Lord, we have before you an application for extension of time to file our statement of case out of time. And as my Lord will see from our affidavit, we did not delay out of disrespect for this court, but for the fact that we were waiting for certain documents from them, which we stated in our paragraph 6.
The lawyers on the other side were not opposed to it, and a single justice, Justice Yaudakwansari, granted this application.
So I'm satisfied that the application has merits, and I'm inclined to grant it, especially in the absence of any affidavit in opposition filed by either the plaintiff or the first defendant. Accordingly, it is hereby ordered that time for the second defendant to file a statement of case is extended for 7 days from the date of this order. So that's my order.
But there is also this crucial matter of the financial impact analysis that was supposed to be attached to this bill. Early on in early proceedings, the lawyers for the Speaker of Parliament had said they were going to make those documents available to the court. Lawyer for Richard Elaskai, Pakwesi Abedu, asked the lawyers for the Speaker of Parliament why they had not made that document available to the court. The Attorney General's Department also cited that as part of the reason why they had not filed their statement of case. Then the single justice presiding over this case, Justice Yaudakwansari, then indicated that if they were so much pressed about this document and they believed it will make their case for them, they surely do know what court processes they would have to use to compel the Speaker of Parliament to file that.
My Lord, our hesitation to file memorandum of issues for all this time has been due to the absence
Why
of...
do you need a court order to file memorandum of issues?
Yes.
If they serve you with their statement, if she says the statement of case,
Lord,
and all the processes are in order, what prevents you from this process? Because you are the plaintiff. And I think the best thing is that you file a joint memorandum of issues.
I'm prepared to file. In fact, it has been ready, sitting on the table. Our only setback is that there's one crucial document they promised to file. And up to this stage, we don't see that document among the lot. That's the financial impact analysis.
Mr. Abidu.
Yes, my Lord.
If you are contesting a matter with somebody, and he's relying on a document, and he says he will make that document available to the court, and he's not bringing it, how is it not to your benefit?
Very well. Lord, I'll rest my case here.
Why do you push him to bring the tools that, or the armory that he will use to destroy you?
Lord.
If I were you, I'll just
rest my case here. I'll rest it here.
Lord, just 1 second. My Lord, we don't want to give a name to the documents because we said it's good. He said he had cited.
If you think it's there, you know the process to file to compel them to produce it.
Yes. So, my Lord, we know what to do. So we are not belaboring.
If you think that it will inure to your benefit, and they are, as it were, suppressing it.
My Lord,
and you know that it is there. Compel them to produce it.
The Attorney General now has 7 days to file their statement of case, and then the memorandum of issues will then be filed. The case will now be set down for hearing, and then ultimately the court will set a date to make a declaration as to whether or not this bill that was passed in Parliament is actually constitutional or not. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Supreme Court, Accra.
Let's stay in the courts because the Chief Justice Gertrude Okono is warning political parties and other stakeholders to take their procedures seriously or risk having their cases thrown out. Speaking at the launch of the latest manual on adjudicating elections, the Chief Justice insisted that procedure is so fundamental and goes to the heart of every dispute before a court. And the Chief Justice therefore cautioned potential litigants to pay particular attention to procedure when going to the court.
Not only is procedure critical, but a failure to provide the legal threshold of evidence can be costly. Starting an action in the wrong court can lead to loss of an otherwise perfect case. This is why I crave and ask that strong attention should be paid to the teachings and the learnings in the material that has been freely given in this manual. It should be extremely helpful to especially the media who need to correctly inform the public on ongoing disputes. This year's edition, which is divided into 3 volumes, as already stated, as the most significant change for ease of reference, is a credit to its drafters. In these 3 volumes, they have done a thorough job of reflecting the changing course of election law while remaining true to the overarching principles that have guided previous editions. Material is still being developed, and as they come, they'll be made available and the public informed. I can inform you that the Rules of Court Committee is still helping or is still working. In fact, we have finished our work. It's with the Attorney General's Department. So there's still more rules that we are praying will be available before the 7th of December when we vote.
Meanwhile, the Chief Justice has also weighed in on the backlash that judges face after rulings. According to Chief Justice Gertrude Okono, beg your pardon, judges cannot make all parties happy. She also expressed optimism that Ghana will remain peaceful after the crucial 2024 election.
I say every day, a judge annoys somebody. In fact, even if you adjourn a case, you will annoy somebody. If you grant an application, the one who was it was granted against will be upset. And so we live with upset. But it is really beautiful to see how we have gathered as a group around our nation. We have nowhere to go. This is the piece of earth that God gave us. And He gave it to a diverse group. And as diverse as we are, our ethnic groups, our various groups, we are one people, one nation, and we have one destiny. We will go through the elections. We will come out, and the nation will be the strongest for it.
And let's get into our election headquarters. And a spokesperson for the NPP flag bearer, Dennis Miracles Abuaje, has thrown down the gauntlet, challenging former President John Dramani Mahama to debate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ahead of the December 7th elections. Former President John Dramani Mahama had earlier accused the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, of being unable to answer questions about the government's economic policies. But spokesperson for the NPP campaign says Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is more capable and ready to defend the government's record and is eager to take on John Dramani Mahama in a presidential debate. Nana Bwachi Yadom has more from this Free Senior High School Graduates Association campaign in the Ashanti region.
The Free SHS Graduates Association and the First-Time Voters Group, led by some Ashanti Regional Party executives of the NPP, engaged traders at the KGTR market in Kumasi. The engagement is to solidify the party's base in the Ashanti region as part of its campaign. Speaking to Joy News, the spokesperson for the Bawumia campaign, Dennis Miracle Abuaje, took time to respond to former President Mahama's questions to the Vice President.
It's very low that a former president will resort to insults in this conversation. I mean, it's okay if you disagree with the Vice President, but do not insult him. Now he tells everybody that it's not an insult, it's an American quotation, no problem. Since when did American slang become part of our conversation? In America, a little girl can look in your face and say, what the hell? In Ghana, it's an insult. So it's not everything that is said in the USA that becomes courteous for us to use in this country. But if he says it's not an insult, then let me help him. The former president should understand that this economy is better than his economy. And that is why all the teachers he left at home without employing have been employed under this economy. This economy that he says is in a mess is a messy economy that is able to pay every single teacher that works. He left them at home. They worked for 12 months and he paid them for only 3 months. This economy is able to buy fuel to power the generators. He was unable to buy fuel to power the generators. This economy is able to pay allowances for teachers and nurses. His economy was unable to do that. It is about the economy, stupid. Mahama should know that.
According to him, the NDC flag bearer's return to power is to destroy the work done by the Akufo-Addo government, including the Free Senior High School policy.
And there is only one way to protect Free Senior High School, that is to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as president. The former president and his party, the NDC, have given a clear indication that they are going to cancel the Free Senior High School. In fact, what they have told her is that even if they do not cancel the Free Senior High School, they are going to do what we call the mean testing. And the mean testing is where they are going to segregate who pays and who doesn't pay. And that will be the beginning of troubles for the poor person in this country. The Free Senior High School is the only policy that is opening doors and opening ways for the Ghanaian poor, irrespective of where you find yourself in this country. And we are all going to work together to ensure that we do not allow anybody to come and destroy the Free Senior High School.
Deputy CEO for Maslog and patron for the Free SHS Graduates Association, Obidumbi Kwabena Asamoah, highlighted the vision of the NPP to help transform the educational sector.
Education is the great equalizer. Everybody aspires for social mobility. How do you embank on social mobility without education? So if somebody gives you education, that person is absolutely interested in you. That person cares about you. That person wants you to have a great future. And that is what the NPP administration under Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Dr. Matthew Poku have done. So we the young people were out here, and all we're saying to our mothers, to the people of Ghana, is that when you vote on December 7th, you are not just voting for the NPP, you are voting for your children. When you go into that ballot box, we, the Free SHS Graduates Coalition, want you to remember Free SHS, and we want you to remember that when you vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia at number 1, you are voting for us, your children.
For Joy News, Nana Bwachi Dankwa Yadom, Kumasi.
Away from my election headquarters, let's do some other stories. Now, it was a mere dream to have his home filled with engineers and health professionals to serve the needs of his people and transform his constituency. Dr. Yao Osei Educhum's initiative to produce over 100 engineers and doctors over a 10-year period in the Bosomtwe constituency is already fruiting. Now, the first batch of 31 university graduates are making exploits in various fields of engineering after the education minister single-handedly funded their tuition. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku tells us more because he was at the Thanksgiving service of these young graduates who are ready to turn their constituency into a hub of Ghana's greatest engineers and doctors.
A joyous time at the Jachi Pentecost Church as these young graduates elevate an endless praise to God after actualizing their dreams of becoming engineers. They are the first fruits of the vision of the Education Minister, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, in 2020 to produce over 100 engineers for his Bosomtwe constituency in the Ashanti region over a 10-year period. Among them are Jennifer Dankwa and Emmanuel Owusu. Their respective journeys to their accomplishments today did not come easy. Having completed their secondary education in 2019, Jennifer and Emmanuel had just no intentions of furthering their education soon. The wherewithal to support their education eluded them.
In the senior high school, it wasn't easy. Sometimes I have to struggle. Sometimes my friend have to give me money and then those stuff. I have to start off and then learn. It wasn't easy.
But through the benevolence of an MP who was ready to see his constituency transform from agricultural to an industrial enclave, Emmanuel and Jennifer joined 29 others to benefit from a fully funded education from Dr. Educhum. They were privileged to pursue various engineering courses at the University of Mines and Technology.
I don't want any average person out of you.
4 years later, Jennifer is a geological engineer and Emmanuel a computer scientist. They are the first university graduates in their families.
10 years from now, my plan is to have a poultry farm that will at least feed half, not Africa, maybe Ghana. Like a poultry farm that will feed Ghana with tech, making it simple for the farmers.
For what Dr. Educhum has done, Emma will do more than that to support Bosomtwe, Ghana, myself, his mother, and his family.
What Dr. Educhum has done is one thing that people need to look at and learn from it, because he has really devoted his time to do this for us.
Their joy is only a culmination of grit to prevail as they ready themselves to transform their communities.
I want Bosomtwe to be the place where we have many engineers and medical doctors. This is just the beginning. I'm so happy today, and it's a wonderful feeling to have vibrant youth surrounding you who have just become engineers.
It is the vision of Dr. Yao Osei Educhum to produce more than 100 engineers and doctors for his constituency to serve the needs of his people and the country at large. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
Now let me tell you about the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair that enters day 3 today. Now, discounted lands, beautiful furnishing, free consultation and lots of food at our happy hour, all in one venue, the Accra International Conference Center, where the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is ongoing. Exhibitors say they've considered the economy and varying lifestyles of homeowners and prospective homeowners to offer substantial discounts, specifically for the fair. Hannah Odame has been speaking to them in this report.
I have a dream of putting up my building. It saves time, it saves money.
The sum of why the fair has been put together, getting everything, housing and more under one roof. Regardless of your budget, exhibitors are making sure you become a homeowner.
We are saying that you should buy a house or land from us and pay it without interest in 5 and 2 years. After paying the 40% down payment, we'll give you 24 months, which is 2 years to pay without interest.
At this fair, we are offering a 10% discount. That's just the tip on the iceberg. We are also offering free consultation, and we have a lot of samples available like beds. We have our sofa, swivel chairs, we have carpets here. We even have our beautiful curtain fabric here, and we are still running a discount on them.
We've slashed our prices down because we want everyone to secure a plot and invest, because buying a land is actually a lifetime investment, and we want everyone to actually own a land from Ultimate Land Hub.
This year, the discounts are unbelievable, and patrons are overly excited about the offerings.
When I came previously, I think I had everything I was looking for. So this time around, I'm thinking if I come, I'm going to still get all the things I need for my building.
So this time and this year, what are you looking for?
Obviously, I need something to complete my building. It's on the scratch, so I think I will need a lot of things to get the building completed.
I'm at Chufu Praso area, and it's because of this that I came, because I'm interested in real estate and other means we can use apart from brick and mortar and the cement. So that is why I came, to explore and to get answers to my questions. That's why I came.
So when you came, have you been able to explore? Have you been able to get the answers to your questions?
Yes, I would say 80% of my questions have been answered, which is very good. It means that it's a pass mark. Yes, the companies over here, the customer service is one key thing, and I think they are doing a good job. And all that I need, you can see me in my hand. I know where to go from here when I need something, and it's a good thing. It's worthwhile traveling all the way here to have this exhibition.
The fair ends on November 2, but already the Multimedia Group Limited is being applauded for the initiative.
I would recommend anybody who has a dream of putting up a building, either for himself, for their family, or for the community, should come.
I believe every year they do, and they should never stop doing it.
For Joy News, I am Hannah Odame.
Now, the fair continues to the 2nd of November from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And trust me, I've been there myself. You want to be there to get everything you need to get a house and make it a home. It's the Accra International Conference Center. Don't miss it. Now, let's get into our business updates with Benjamin Akakpo. Yes, I'm Benjamin Akakpo for today. Let's get straight into our business story, starting with the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers is predicting 2.3% reduction in prices of petroleum products at the pumps today. That is November 1st, 2024. Duncan Amwa is the Executive Secretary of COPEC.
Has seen some 1.86%. Diesel has done about 3.79%. LPG has done almost 0.89% over the period. So if you have the commodity itself going down by some of these percentages, then there's a higher possibility that the market will gravitate towards a reduction. The only disturbing news we are picking now is that the importers, the exchange rates are currently being applied, might end up wiping whatever reductions that you and I may be getting. If you go through our release, which of course we did also pick with the NPA, you are doing an exchange of forex of 16.19, which is about 16.2. But what I've just seen with keyboard analysis is pointing to a quotation of some 16.6 at FX for today, and then some 16.9. That is if you are doing spot price, and 16.6. If you are doing forward rate, that's about 16.89. So if that should apply by close of tomorrow, whatever reductions that international benchmark could have given you and I could end up being wiped simply by the forex distortions that we are recording today.
And as part of efforts to build resilience and improve Ghana's cybersecurity space ahead of the 2024 elections, the Cybersecurity Authority has committed to ensuring the protection of the country's critical information infrastructure. Speaking to Joy Business, Alex Opong, Director of Capacity Building and Awareness Creation at the authority, noted that this will be achieved by enforcing full compliance with the requirements of the Cybersecurity Act by service providers. And he made these remarks at the Cyber Awareness Breakfast meeting organized by Israeli Economic and Trade Mission to Ghana.
The reason why that there's a focus on critical information infrastructure is because when you're designated as a critical information infrastructure owner, be it the system, it means that anything that happens to that particular system or to that institution that is considered as an owner has a detrimental effect on the Ghana's economy and national security. So in terms of the elections, we'll go back to critical information infrastructure owners. The Electoral Commission is one of them. So pretty much they would adhere and comply to a lot of the directives that we've put out there. So we obviously, as the main regulator for the cybersecurity space, where the need is, and we need to send out for any particular reason, we would have professionals to send out. But in terms, basically, the Electoral Commission is basically cooperating with us in that space because of the nature and the kind of setup of the commission itself.
Folks, it's a wrap for the AM News on the AM Show. Let's get into our news review segment right away. This is the news review segment on the AM Show. Before I introduce my guest to you this morning in the studio, a gentle reminder that today is day 3 of the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair at the Accra International Conference Center. Do well to pass by. They're offering mouth-watering discounts and so many goodies that you don't want to miss. My guest this morning is Mr. Benjamin Akakpo, and he joins me in the studio. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning, sweetie. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Today is the first day of November, and today we break comms on the 3rd edition of the Girl Get Up annual seminar. So I'm really excited today, and I'll be telling you all about it in the course of the program.
Well, exciting, of course, and I've passed through at least once, so
yes, you have.
I have a fair idea what happens. So we'll be going through our newspapers, and of course, the Joy News or the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is also up and running through the weekend, and we'll be heading there in due course at some point in the day.
I was there on the starts of, I think, or the very first day. That was Wednesday, and I've seen some of the stalls that have been put up and the goodies there, Benjamin. And I think I was very lucky because I just got a house. Not like I bought a house or anything. I just acquired a property. And I'm
why are you shying away from, if you bought a house, you
I didn't
bought a
buy
house?
it. Well, I'm just giving that clarity. And so I'm obsessed with decorating, you know, making the place look like my home. When you enter my home, I don't want you to see a house that's been decorated. I want you to see me. And there are so many things. If you're like me and you want to put things around in a way that reflects your personality and persona, Benjamin, you should really pass through the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. I'm telling you, you have to trust me. You will not be disappointed. I think Syntex Tank is giving away 1 free tank. Virtual Security Africa says they will beat any price on the market that matches their quality in terms of everything security, from CCTVs, from doors and locks and all that. So yeah, there are so many things there that you, our cherished audience, we did it for you. So pass through and get yourself some goodies to get a house and make it a home. Do you have a land yet? They're offering some mouth-watering discounts, Mr. Akakpo.
Not information I'm disclosing, but of course, if you want some of that prime land as well, there are so many outfits there. So everything you want, from doors, some of these latest Turkish, whether it's Turkish or Chinese doors you want. If it's accommodation, different forms of real estate, you can get them there. Many entities, if it's about water distilling, especially in these days, this time and age when we are talking about, galamsey and its effects on water. or if it's about storing water, like Sweetie spoke about, Syntex tank, among others. Nothing is left out. And your bathroom as well. Toiletries, or better still, toilet wear, right? Your washroom wear. All of that is there. I think the last time we had this entity come, I've just forgotten their name, but they have so many, a wide range of products, including the toilet bowls without lids. And there's some science to why you should be getting those. So just pass through the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair and we'll serve you. We'll be there. But having spoken about those, I just want to sneak in some thoughts about the power situation. And today when I delve into my blunt thoughts, it's the last issue I'm going to be looking at. Do you have power sustained, stable throughout the week?
Yeah, I do. Okay,
not my case.
There's a caveat though. I'm not home all the time during the the course of the day. I'm home at the from further about. So maybe when it's out, I don't know. But I haven't experienced it yet.
Well, for my end, a little over a month, maybe a month and a week, a month and 2 weeks, consistently every week, about twice. What I get to see, about twice my power goes off, and it's usually anywhere from 5 thereabouts to 6 thereabouts, and then it goes off till maybe 11 thereabouts or after midnight. Sometimes it comes back at dawn. The penultimate one I experienced was a wide area because I was returning from the Tema area, and you could tell all the way coming through, even from Spintex, it appeared all the way home.
Wow.
Darkness. The last one happened when I got home. It had happened. This was, I think, around 5 something. I got home after 6. I was told it had gone off and we had to sweat it out. I bring it up also because I get, messages, calls from people asking me, hey, you work in the media. What is going on? Because there are different pockets of Accra, and I hear in Kumasi as well, who are facing this. There's the IES statement on Suno Nasogli, but we've also been told about, I just forget the name of the other entity and everything happening. For us, all we want is stable power supply. That's all. I don't want to have to sweat it out at night after a long day of work. I don't want to go through the entire crisis. Just sort it out. That's all. We are not playing any blame game. We are not blaming anybody. Rectify the situation. Yeah, Brett. That's all I wanted to say on that this morning. And good for you that you are not experiencing any power outages.
I hope it remains the same because
at least not when you are home.
Yeah, I'd hate to not have power when I'm home after a long day's work. But Benjamin, let's get into the newspapers. I want to start with the Daily Graphic, and I'll just go through all the main stories in here briefly. On the front page, 169 agro factories ready under one district, one factory, says the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We also have new SHS curriculum starts. That is a news desk report. Anti-Gay Bill suit. The Speaker's financial impact assessment sparks controversy in courts. We actually brought you that story in the news, the AM News this morning. Chief Justice launches manual on election adjudication. Let's get straight into it. I want to start with a story about the new senior high school curriculum. So it says the Ministry of Education has rolled out the new curriculum for second cycle schools through its agencies, the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment and the Ghana Education Service. And the curriculum covers senior high schools, senior high technical schools, and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, that's STEM schools, across the country. So beginning this month, that is a 2024-2025 academic year, the new curriculum is expected to redefine the future of education in the country by nurturing critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving. What I do remember is that some parents had some concerns about the time frame between when you complete the first year of school without waiting, no vacation, no waiting to see, get the scores of your assessment. You just move straight to Form 2, and there are some concerns. I remember speaking to Kweku Kwateng, and he says, well, they're open to listening to these concerns and see how they can deal with it head on. But Benjamin, this is the first story. Before we continue.
Yes, let's get into that story about fuel prices, price hikes, and how they could translate into transport fares. I'm going to cross over and interact with Mr. Godfred Abulbere. He's General Secretary. He's with the GPRTU. We'd like to find out from them what the latest situation is. Mr. Abulbere, a very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well. I hope you are too.
I am very fine.
Great.
Yes.
Great. We're hearing some news. Now, there's been talk about the lowering of prices as far as fuel is concerned. And then we've heard talk about the exchange rate and how it could erase all of that. But as far as transport fares are concerned, what is the latest? We heard that there was going to be a hike. Then we were told that indeed there was not going to be a hike. What exactly is the situation as far as the GPRTU is concerned?
I don't know whether you are saying that we heard that there's going to be. Is that what you said?
Yes.
I think from where I got involved in fare increments, we don't deal with issues yet to come. What we know is that the moment the pump price changes, and then typically it triggers off other components which we do consider as factors to consider in terms of fare increments. That's where we would begin to do discussions at the round table. But I don't think fuel increments based on speculations. I don't get clear. No.
I mean, I do know that you look at the prices of lubricants on the market, spare parts and all of that, and you usually put them together and then you go ahead. But some have also said that in light of the purported decrements, whether current or expected, there could be shifts in prices, whether it's a lowering or otherwise. Though some have said that the exchange rate will eventually mitigate and ensure that the gains may be eroded. But some also say that, listen, every time there is a reduction in price of some of these items, we never go down in terms of the fares. That is the concern, which is why we are curious to find out whether there are discussions to whether decrease the fares in any way.
Yeah, I think you're right. So the fact is just that we cannot set off a clear example when fares were reduced abroad of prices went down. But what we can put is that we can measure from the COVID time where issue of fuel prices were brought down to a reasonable level for us to reduce the fact. At that time, fares were brought down. That was the only thing we can measure. But like you said, there's still concern to all the traveling public. And that we would always want to look at, not only the but when the fuel margin comes down and the other components either remain constant or rather have been increased, and then start to reduce the fare based on fuel components. That's where the issue.
Okay, so the line was breaking a bit. So what essentially are you saying? Are you saying that for now, nothing is going to change? Is that what you're saying?
No, nothing. Nothing is going to change. Nothing.
Okay, and does that also include the other drivers' unions? We know yours is the biggest, but you collaborate with the others, the concerned drivers, among others. Are you consulting them, or is this just the GPRTU with this stance?
No, when you say concerns, I said no. I disagree. But what we do when the issue of
don't get me wrong. What I was saying was there are so many groupings, including the concerned drivers grouping. There's a name for them. I've just forgotten the full name. I mean, there are different groupings.
GRCC, that's the GRCC.
Right. And I'm saying...
GRCC, that's the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council.
Right. And I'm saying that, is this a collective decision that you've arrived at, or this is just the GPRTU speaking?
It is a collective decision of the two main bodies.
Okay. All right. So within this last window, within this last quarter of the year, do you think this will stand? This will be stable in this manner till end of year in terms of maintaining transport fares?
let me assure you that this one will remain. If at all there's something that will trigger off, the situation as we are now will not call for fair increment. Even if at all the factors even change and goes up, it will not fair increment. So what we are and assure that what we are now will maintain until the end of. Can I assure you?
Okay. You say it will be maintained till the end of the year. However, there seems to be a disparity because the concerned drivers grouping, they are saying they think a 15% margin should be in the offing. You disagree?
We disagree. Well, for them, it is not the first of its time. They have been saying so. But whatever they say on air, do materialize. It is not. It is not. They just say it and then they just storm the air and then talk this more than that. But their actions doesn't lead to any results.
Okay. If you look at their statement, let me just take a quick look, a stab at that. You would see that they write saying that purported increase in public transport fares. This is a joint release by the road transport operators. And our attention has been drawn to news going around in some media houses headlined, transport operators announced 15% increase in fares effective 2nd November. We wish to place on record and for the information of drivers and the general public that no such decision has been taken. So if you, and of course you sign it, Mr. Yabua, the General Secretary of the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council also signs it. But with this position adopted by the concerned drivers, at least from what we've heard, some of the talk in there, does that mean that if they go ahead to do any such thing, it would be an illegality?
It will be an illegality. But the word illegality will have to be discussed in context. You see?
And you understand why I'm bringing it up? Because there are times where even without the committee sitting, you go ahead and increase fares. That has happened before. So I don't know whether now, because you are backing out, you can call what they are saying illegal.
Yes. But what I'm saying is that it is not the first of its kind that they have come to do such public announcements. But right now, you see the letter you just read, that communication you just read, comes up and we are the two bodies that are talked with that review, and not that. So I just want to make it clear that what we wrote is what was fine.
Mr. Mubiri, so there is no intention as we speak to increase transport fares, as far as you are concerned. There's nothing of that sort.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. No fair increment.
So what happens when commuters pick a car and drivers who may or may not be part of your association decide to increase the fares? What do they do then?
And that is illegal. We said that.
It's illegal?
Yes, because there's nothing that you can measure as a factor that triggered off that increment as of now. There's nothing that you can measure as the factor that triggered off that fair increment.
So what do they do then? Because, I mean, you've put out a statement, you're on here clarifying, but it doesn't mean that those drivers will not still continue to increase those fares. And this is what causes most, the commotion and fights in the buses. What do they do then? Do they report to you? How do they address this? My
sister, Joy News is the most credible media station that everybody will always want to hear. Because you present what is fact.
Yeah.
If I ask you, have you ever taken a clue to go to them to find out any of their pronouncements, whether do they finally effect it or not? You can't get any of their past pronouncements that they do say. Nothing has been effected.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Abubiri, for joining us.
Thank you, too.
Well, that is Godfred Abulbiri, and he is General Secretary of the GPRTU. He joined the conversation, reassuring that any such thoughts about an increment is not going to happen.
He calls it illegal.
It's interesting because, listen, there have been times, like I pointed out to him, and he agreed, where they hadn't even met with the ministry, the sector ministry, and other parties, and yet they had gone ahead with increments. But we'll see how things go. According to him, till end of year, there shouldn't be any increments. But at the same time, of course, if the prices of commodities change, you know, extremely, if I may put it that way, and if the cost of fuel at the pumps changes, then there could be some things in the offing. But let's get into the papers now. You were going to...
Yes, I want to continue with my stories from the Daily Graphic. It says the Chief Justice launches manual on election adjudication. I think this is launched in every election year. The Chief Justice, Justice Gertrude Tokono, has launched a revised edition of a manual that serves as a guide on the adjudication of electoral disputes in the country, known as the Manual on Election Adjudication in Ghana. It is produced by the Judicial Service and has been launched in every electoral year since 2008. And it is a one-stop shop for everything related to the laws and regulations of elections in the country, housing the compendium of all electoral laws, decided cases on electoral disputes, the rules of procedure adopted by the courts in adjudicating electoral disputes, as well as the processes involved in instituting legal action over election. And Justice Tokono said elections were at the heart of democracy, and therefore the manual was a testament to the Judicial Service's commitment to continuously upholding transparency, fairness, and rule of law to help protect the country's democracy. Just a quote before I end it here. Quote, "It is our resolve to go over and beyond our call of duty to ensure that the relevant law is not only known to judges and lawyers, but available as a useful tool for election administrators," she said. So that's been launched ahead of election 2024. In December, we're just 36 days away. Let me do some other stories. In the Bono region, 169 agro factories ready under one district, one factory, says the president. The story says the government has completed 169 different agro-processing factories under its one district, one factory program to drive the local economy and reduce unemployment, President Akufo-Addo has said. And he said, aside from that, 152 other factories were under construction, explaining that the Bono region had 7 of such factories, out of which 3 were operational. And President Akufo-Addo was speaking at the Bono Regional Stakeholders Engagement in Sunyani last Wednesday to thank the chiefs and people in the region for reposing their trust in him and supporting his administration to succeed. I'm tempted to log on to the performance tracker and see how many of these factories that have been actually listed there as completed, and the others, especially in terms of the Agenda 111 hospitals and all that. Benjamin Akapo, quick reflections on this, or do I go on?
We've conducted some checks on some of these facilities in the past, and some of them you would see at appreciable levels. I mean, sometimes when we talk of Agenda 111, or actually 1D, 1F, you would think that it's a whole new factory that has been set up. Some are not exactly the case. It's an already established outfit that has been given support to continue with its work and grow its scale up, basically. But some of those that were started from scratch, some you would find, and honestly, some you will not find. So it's a mixed bag. I wish we could be more accurate. I wish we could be less political, because in the end, it's meant to be for all of us. And these are, if you want to industrialize, these are some of the, whether this government is talking about 1D, 1F, and the other side is talking about a 24-hour economy, they are not talking about different things. We like to play politics. It's the same thing. And if we get these things right, in essence, we'll produce a lot of things here, cut down costs of importation, and, do well for our economy. We don't realize, if you look at the Netherlands, for example, they don't grow cocoa there. But the billions of dollars they make every year from processing cocoa, creating products related to cocoa, that is where we ought to be going. But we have, for decades, just played not even second fiddle, maybe I'll say third fiddle or fourth fiddle to these entities. So you produce the thing, you don't do that much processing. Someone else buys it from you. Of course, it is raw. There's not much value that has been added. Processes it and brings it back to you. And sometimes we think some of the entities, I just don't want to mention names. Some of the chocolate and entities you see on the market, I don't want to mention names. We think, oh, they are not. They are from some of these same countries. and then they process and come and sell and say, oh, we are giving a little percentage and doing this. In the end, we are losing out. It's the same with gold that we do. So, and a lot of it is funneled through India, the UAE, Dubai, and others. Then you go back to those same people to go and buy your trinkets, your gold, whatever. You come back and we are just losing on all ends. But
well, Ghana, my country. I love this country. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes when you wake up and you read stories and you see where we're going, you just wonder. Now, on the anti-LGBTQ bill or the anti-gay bill suit, the Speaker's financial impact assessment sparks controversy. I know that the AG has been given, I think, 7 days to file his statement of case. But let me get into the story. So there was controversy in the Supreme Court yesterday in the suit challenging the anti-gay bill over the existence of a financial impact analysis supposedly prepared by the Speaker of Parliament before the bill was passed. At the Supreme Court yesterday, lawyers from the Office of the Attorney General and the plaintiff challenging the passage of the bill questioned why the Speaker of Parliament had not made available the said analysis since his lawyers had stated in July that such a document indeed existed. And a Chief State Attorney, Sylvia Adusu, in moving an application for extension of time to enable the AG to file its statement of case, said the AG, the second defendant, had been forced to delay its statement of case due to the failure of the Speaker to produce the analysis. Hence, he's been given, or the Office of the Attorney General has been given 7 days to file their statement of case, and then we'll see if we finally get a ruling on this matter. Let me do some other stories now. Government moves to amend Minerals Development Fund Act. Speaker's financial, we just read that story. Replacement of presidential candidates of Ghana Freedom Party will be costly. I'm interested in this one. So 2 governance and election watchers have observed that the state will incur costs if the Ghana Freedom Party decides to replace its presidential candidate on the ballot paper for the 2024 general election. For context, that is Ekuadonko's party, the late Ekuadonko's party. And the 2, that's the Director for Policy Engagement and Partnerships at the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD, Dr. Kojo Asante, and the National Coordinator for the Coalition for Domestic Election Observers, that's CODEO, Albert Ahin, expressed the view in separate interviews with the Daily Graphic, and their comments follow the decision by the Electoral Commission to suspend the printing of the 2024 presidential ballot papers as a result of the passing of the presidential candidate of the GFP. But meanwhile, we already know that the NDC are vehemently opposed, against the automatic adjustment of the, the positions of the various flag bearers on the ballot paper. So they're saying it will cost us some money if we have to replace the presidential candidate. Before I continue, shall we bring in our guest this morning? Okay, let me do some other stories and I'll come to you in a bit. NDC will revamp markets. Work done by NPP will win December election for the party. And employ backlog of idling qualified physician assistants. GCB Bank holds breast cancer awareness seminar, of course, and Sunyani West, can NPP maintain dominance? Women in agribusiness. I'm just running through the various stories in the Daily Graphic, and I'll come to you in a bit. Women in Agribusiness Conference ends in Ho. Bank of Ghana urges IMF to maintain zero-interest PRGT support. Let me get into this a bit. So the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. N.S. Addison, has said the timing for the resumption of the charging interest rates on the Poverty Reduction and Growth Trust is inappropriate, as most PRGT-eligible countries are still facing significant challenges. He said the IMF's charges and the surcharges policy should avoid adding financial burdens on countries facing fiscal challenges. At this point, let me hold on and Benjamin will bring in our guest, and then we continue the conversation.
Well, we have joining the conversation Isaac Odampton. He's the NDC's parliamentary candidate for Tema East. Thank you for coming, sir.
And thank you for having me.
I mean, we've already started discussing a number of issues, from fuel prices and unlikely, and I say unlikely, transport fare increments, because we just had an interaction this morning with the GPRTU's General Secretary. We've spoken about some state-run policies, new SHS curriculum. If you look at today's Daily Guide, we'll be talking about 85% of Ghanaians wanting free SHS maintained according to the Afrobarometer report. Of course, you can pick and choose because there are so many other things to look at in there. But we usually give the opportunity for about a minute to our guests to share thoughts on something very pertinent. What would you talk about this morning?
Yeah, thank you, and let me extend my regards to our cherished viewers this morning. You listen or you read the tabloids and all you get is a sense of disconnect in most of our public policy formulation and implementation. When you mentioned the unlikely and highlighted that unlikely fuel increases, I would go with you, except to say that sometimes what the leadership of organized labor, in this case the transport operators, may stand for may not reflect the true state of operators. But it's assuring that leadership is providing that leadership and assuring the Ghanaian populace that they do not anticipate increases. I think that is key, because anything that affects our transport system and if you look at the number of operators within that sector, it's always important that we keep our eyes on that sector and ensure that the country runs efficiently and effectively when it comes to transport management. The second issue you mentioned, which is dear to my, probably I should have rated that first, is the fact that the new curriculum for our SHS is out. Tied to that is the fact that many Ghanaians, and the record says 85% of Ghanaians would want SHS to continue to be free. And it's assuring that most or the two major parties are now touting free SHS as something that has come to stay. His Excellency, the former President John Dramani Mahama, has made it categorically clear that he would not scrap free SHS. He's gone ahead to underpin his original commitment to making free SHS free, but at the time, progressively. Now we say, yes, it has come to stay, and we support it. We've never been against free SHS. We've been against the implementation and how it was rolled out. And that is
let's be fair. You see, that's the thing with politics. When something is said, sometimes when it's trickling down, people attack it in a certain way, and then it comes out looking awkward. Some members of your party attacked it, making it appear it wasn't a good thing, that there was no...
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Yes, but I'm saying that is why...
Your interjection is on John Dramani Mahama.
No, that is why it is important. It's not... John Dramani Mahama doesn't go on radio and TV every morning to speak on different platforms. That is the point I'm making to political actors, that let whatever information that you think is the right thing trickle down. Because if John Dramani Mahama says one thing and others go around saying other things, what do you think the people will pick? It is what they hear from these other people that they will pick. So let's stick to the message. If leaders say this is it, let your party operatives stick to that message. Because there are many of your party operatives who also made it appear that this may not have been the best thing. It is good to know now that it's a good thing, but maybe it's not being implemented in the best of ways, and you have some of those solutions. You can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. But is it your point, and is it your position that currently, in the lead up to the 2024 elections, you have this confusion about whether free SHS is going to continue or not? Is that the case?
It is not my confusion, but guess what? Why do you have... I see some of your ads, the campaigns, trying to clarify. Why are you trying to clarify? Because for the masses, that confusion exists. That is it not?
Yeah, you have.
Is that not why you're trying to clarify?
No, you have a point. But the point I made earlier is the fact that right from the lead up to 2020 elections, we had said SHS must be progressively free. No one would argue against this position. That we are saying that the wholesale implementation of free SHS can be problematic. Indeed, the finance minister, since I entered parliament, has himself, usually I want to hold the responsibility bearers, those who really matter in matters for our discussion. And so when the finance minister supports the earlier position of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, then you must understand that the issue is not about free, but it's about how we implement what the Constitution invites us to make free for all of us. And we chose earlier to make it progressive. Now at this time or moment in time, it's already implemented with its challenges. We all know that it has a lot of challenges. So what the NDC has done is to identify the major challenges, which are infrastructure, even syllabus, and that is why I raised the issue. I'll come back to the issue of syllabus. The school environment, we have said that procurement at secondary schools, to the extent that these have been centralized, is part of the problem. Because if you want to even use free SHS to ignite or to give a boost to your economy, there's a way to do it. And simply by decentralizing and allowing communities or regions to deal with the major procurement issues within the schools, you would have been helping, for example, even food producers within regions who become the major suppliers, or the schools would have off-takers within their region. And so the hula baloo about free SHS, and per what Afrobarometer has indicated, is that most Ghanaians will want it to be free. And I'm happy that John Dramani Mahama has made it so clear that we would continue with free SHS and we would indeed improve upon it.
Mr. Odamton, a very quick point. We have to move on. We're actually almost done with the review. But recently, the Education Minister, Yawase Educhum, has also said, Dr. Educhum has also said that he has heard talk about phasing out the shift system, and that a rushed phasing out of that system could prove problematic, that they've added infrastructure on, you just spoke about it and all that. What's your thinking on that? Because that's something that has been said, that we don't need this dual system going on, different tracks, students spending very little time in class and all of that. But this is what the Education Minister is saying. Your reaction?
No, but you see, the major challenge of less contact hours in our schools must be addressed. And I want to invite all media people to deal with the major issues of our country. If you tell me people have gone to school from Form 1 to Form 3 and they've done virtually 60% of what their contact hours should be, then
Mr. Dumpton, we're on the same page on that. We agree with you.
Yeah,
let me speak for myself.
No, but I was going to give you an example.
But the point
that
we are making is
I
this is what he's
as
saying.
the mayor of Tema.
How does it reflect?
Okay. I want to deflate what he's saying, that there's no commitment to government in dealing with the real issue. And let me cite myself as an example. I served as mayor of Tema from 2013 November to 2016 December. In my 2015-2016, I had set the base. So in 2016 alone, we put up 12-story building school infrastructure, completed 6 in 11 months. The point I'm making is that if a government is not committed to a policy and they just want to make political capital out of the policy, they will run away from the true needs of the country. They will run away from what is needed to make the policy effective. And one of it is that within 1 year, we can improve the classroom stock of our schools. John Dramani Mahama has said something.
Hold on a second. You're saying now on record that in 1 year, if the Ghanaian people give John Dramani Mahama the mandate and the NDC, within a year of assumption of office, you can fix our infrastructural gaps or challenges in terms of...
I've given you a practical example where in 11 months, I put up 3-story huge school infrastructure.
No, but I think what we are trying to clarify is, are you speaking for yourself and maybe Tema East, or are you speaking for the NDC? Are you speaking for the party that within a year, this,
you are able to
just clarify for us?
Yeah, I speak for myself and for the NDC. For the NDC, John Dramani Mahama has said that he would not initiate any new infrastructure, not any, but he's going to focus on uncompleted infrastructure. He's made this so clear at every platform. And so all the schools that you go to Tema Mahia Secondary School, there's a Get Fund project that started in 2017. It's still at the foundation structure level. The way in which you improve that is to quickly complete that infrastructure.
Okay.
You go to most of our secondary schools, the challenge of shift and low contact hours is infrastructure, and government is not committed. Look at the many.
We do have to get into other stories because
That's right.
we have to go. So let me do this briefly. Ben, I just wanted to put this out because it's a caution from the Volta Basin Authority. They're saying that the Greater Accra and Volta regions are likely to experience medium impact flooding driven by anticipated rainfall and rising river levels in those areas. So we should take notes. Benjamin, we can do your paper now.
Okay, since you have the news center, Mr. Odampton, I would just like you to do the headlines. We're out of time, so maybe if there's something you'd like to reflect on there, you can just do the headlines and maybe pick something in some 20 seconds that you can reflect on.
Okay, just maybe 10 seconds on what he just read, the flooding issue in Greater Accra. I think that's one thing that I want to invite media people to go or delve into the Garrett project. The Garrett project was supposed to make Accra resilient to flood and flood-prone issues within our region. But unfortunately, sad to say, the over $300 million funding that was procured to deal with 9 major storm drains within Greater Accra has gone waste. Has gone waste to the extent that we have lots allocated to contractors who have not seen the site they are supposed to work at, but they have been paid over $2 million.
That is a conversation we can have.
Yes, and so
some other day.
So it's very important that we begin to look at some of these things. Again, this is
we just have enough time for the headlines, not to get so maybe just the headlines, and you can pick one.
I'm happy to note that Dan Paris reforms at the Ghana Police Service has received attention from our VP. I want to urge the IGP to push professionalism in our police service, because we will need them for the 24-hour economy when it takes off. We will need a strong police. Then,
unfortunately, we can't do more. We are already out of time. So
but I want to mention, Bagbin assures Council of State of early November parliamentary recall.
Yes, he did say that.
Yes, and that is assuring. Again, the subject matter that is bringing this assurance is the fact that we are at a crossroad as a country where the 3 arms of governments must be truly separated and they must function. I do not promote that they must be independent to the extent that there wouldn't be any checks. But we ought to understand that the arms of governments are necessary for the effective running of our country.
All right.
The extent to which we want to, victimize or vandalize Parliament and even bring their budget.
Thank you so much.
Bring their
budget. We're going to have to wrap it here. Next time we'll have more time.
Permit me to greet my Tema East constituents. And sorry I came late because I was given 7 a.m. But next time I'll get your time right.
Thank you. Thank you for coming through. That is Isaac Odampton, the NDC's parliamentary candidate for Tema East. And of course, he is the Member of Parliament as well. It doesn't change the fact that you're still standing on the ticket.
Yeah, I am. I mean, the first one is
of the party.
Just so that
I would like to thank Mudasiru one more time for outfitting me, clothing me this morning with this wonderful shirt. You can locate him. You can actually reach him on 0557 029 138. 0557 029 138. And on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest at SIRU-Africa. So that's how we cap it off.
Yes, please stay for Prime Take with Muftar Nabil Abdullahi for our AM Sports segment.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AM Sports here with me, Muftar Nabila Abdullah. Earlier, we are bringing you the conversation we had with the new director of sports at the University of Ghana, Dr. Austin Lugutera. That interview would come your way on a Saturday at 7:30 p.m. And also, the first part, we'll bring it again next week, Friday. But today, we want to have a conversation on the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. We have in the studio Ni Clote Kole, who is the CFO of Electrocom Ghana Limited. And also Courage Kodo, he is with Piva Beverages. He's a brands and marketing manager. They're here to talk to us about Joy Sports Invitation. And in fact, just before we came on air, they were laughing at each other. One has a trophy.
Where's your trophy?
The other day.
Relax. No. Relax. What is this trophy?
We'll get there. Just
we are there now.
Relax.
The trophy.
In fact,
I'm not here to brag.
You have a trophy, right?
Yeah, volleyball, men's volleyball. We won it.
I was on the phone with McDan just before we came on air.
Very well.
And he says you are filing a protest.
Yeah. You are filing a protest to multimedia for us playing only 15 minutes. That is not even a fair game. Let me give this.
He also said we should come for a rematch.
Dr. Daniel Macaulay, that's this, our group chairman for McDan. I want to thank him for this opportunity. And to Titus Wise Moses, what I want to say is that the 15 minutes for that game is not fair. We had all the chances, and our guys were now gelling into the game, and then the whistle went off. So that means for the end of the game. The penalty, no penalties, is a game of chance. But on 11-11 aside, multimedia cannot fit McDan. Call us anywhere for a rematch, and we'll beat you hands down.
We're not the one calling you. When I was speaking to him, he said you're filing a protest.
Yes,
and that the protest is for a rematch. Yes. The protest is going to FIFA.
FIFA, so that people will write to multimedia. We are coming. This is not, it is not anything that we are going for, that we are accepting the loss. No. 15 minutes for a game. No. We want the 45-45. A real FIFA gameplay, and then a real FIFA licensed referee for that game. And we are scoring you.
Oh, the referees we use were FIFA licensed referees.
Yes.
But one thing I want to understand, I saw you playing the football.
Yeah, I was the top striker.
You couldn't even do 50 meters.
I ran from the center line to the pole with the ball. Dribbling 3 players on.
I think before you get before you get to multimedia, I think you should relax. We have about 3 medals, right?
3 medals. Okay, I have also 3 medals. Let me tell you.
But you don't have them here.
The medals.
But I am actually wearing all the 3 medals.
Where are your medals?
I'm wearing them.
Bring them out.
I'm wearing them.
Where are they? Nothing. We are here to show that we won the men's volleyball. For the Joy Invitation.
We understand that.
Yes.
We understand that.
That one there you did well.
Yes.
And
we won
understand that. Okay.
So why are you not filing a protest after winning the volleyball?
It was clear that everybody knew that McDan is taking the volleyball. We are actually
but the football was not clear. The football
was not clear. 15 minutes.
What happened?
Okay.
What happened?
We had about 6 chances.
Okay.
And then at the latter end where we were about to score, the whistle went off for us to end the game for penalties. How can you tell me this? Because in a game of football, once in 15 minutes you are charging.
See your volleyball team.
Yes.
Now we've moved to the other events. This was a basketball event. Yeah.
Yes.
But I'll come back to you, Nee. Let me go to Piva. Your CEO was here. He said this year I'm winning it.
Yes.
I stood there watching him to take the kick.
Yes.
And guess what? When he hit the ball, he couldn't even find where the goalpost was.
He did. So listen. What happened was that, because of the training, he was undergoing a vigorous training.
Yes.
And so in the course of the training, I think there was a little injury.
Okay.
So that's why he was not able to give us all the goals that we needed. But at least he gave us 1 goal.
Wait.
And a very big good morning to you, boss, Mr. Frank J. Mensah. I know you are watching me right now. We love you. No, we are still proud of you. We are still proud of you.
He wants to use this to buy his boss so that his boss...
I'm not, no.
Because you know what to say?
My boss is very good when it comes to taking penalty shots.
Watching him play.
I can tell you for a fact.
Watching him play that penalty, I think...
No. You were not there. You didn't even...
I was there.
Did you watch my boss play?
I watched it clearly. I watched the whole...
watch my boss play.
Penalty shoot. I watched it clearly.
In fact,
yes.
In his post-match interview with us, or post-event interview with us, he said the pressure in the stadium was the reason why he missed penalty.
That also counts.
He cited the example of Saka.
Okay.
During the Euro Championships in 2021.
Okay.
When he missed that penalty kick. He said he was part of the people blaming the player for missing penalty kick. Meanwhile, he had about 90,000 people and millions of people watching worldwide.
Okay.
But to him, in the stadium, he had only 1,000 or 2,000 people. But the pressure was such that he went and missed his penalty.
Yeah. I mean, again, I can speak for
So why are you making excuses for him?
No, I'm not making any excuses.
Mr. Frankaje.
I mean, truth be told, this is our first time participating with you guys. So I believe that in the subsequent years to come, we are going to come fully. And when I say
Which one did you come partially?
When I say fully, I mean, Magdad, he's here, he's giving us a lot of,
Yeah.
But I'm just telling him that.
But truth be told, the games was very, very exciting.
Yeah, I was coming.
And refreshing, and the kind of people we met around that place, socializing.
Yeah.
We met with the NPA guys, the arm wrestling guy was very superb, taking me through, and also that's the day I learned how to play chess. And
Oh,
currently,
wow.
I'm taking the studies very serious. Chess, I met one of your ladies who was in charge. I think I'll get it.
Christine Ashley.
Yes. She took me, and then there was a gentleman there, myself and Titus, that's the deputy CFO also, Wise Moses. He was also
Even
playing.
Koku Nkrumah was there. Kwame Nkrumah's son.
Kwame Nkrumah, yeah. He was sitting next to me.
Oh, okay.
And he was even telling me in chess, we don't talk, we listen.
You think.
So he was I was just talking, he was having a very tough game, so he was telling me to just keep quiet, you need to think. So that's why I have to find out there are games that you have to think. Because I'm also good in Scrabble though, but I was not able to play because I was trying to learn how to play the chess. Which it was very, very exciting. But thanks to multimedia, but I need that rematch. I need that rematch.
I think you should start with that first.
FIFA is no good. You
start with that.
Learn, go for the training and come. I want to face multimedia.
Courage, tell us about the experience of participating in the Joyce.
All right, so I think in general it was an amazing, well put together event. And for us as an industry, it was an opportunity for us to partake in that. And it also just gives us the leverage to also advertise or put our brand out there. And so we think it was a good one. I mean, the part that I enjoyed the most was the 100 meters,
I hope you're not shading me.
I'm not, but the reason why I'm going there is because that's where our people did very well.
Yeah.
I think 2 of the medals came from that side.
Yeah.
I like the...
There was an event, you finished second in the women's, was it the women's 100 meters?
Yeah.
And then Safoda came third.
Yeah. So I think for the 100 meters, it wasn't a bad one for us. All we needed was that we need to have a huge screen so that we can all be monitoring because at some point I had to run to go and meet the coordinators, to put in words for our people.
In fact, a member of your team came to do agenda. He came and told me that, your athlete finished second. And
at some point, they changed his name.
With the 100 meter ladies who were third, but we were taken out.
No, you couldn't be third. We were using electronic timer. I took your gentleman there.
Okay.
He saw his athlete way behind. I was like, we are using electronic timer. There's absolutely no way you will finish first or second, and you'd be told that you finished third or fourth.
Okay.
There was no way. And in fact, I showed them and I dropped them on the WhatsApp group, and they saw it. So your gentleman, he did not get the medal.
I mean, so because now we've seen the kind of activities that are going to be happening. I think for us as an industry, we have a lot to do. We are now going to put our people together very well for the subsequent events, and we look forward to participating and also being on board as well.
So let me chip in this also. During the tag of peace also, we came out second.
Yes.
And I was fully part. We were beat by the NPA guys. And they even took us through. They have been training for the past 6 years.
Yeah.
So if you don't take your training serious, they will beat us.
In fact, I had them.
They have a full WhatsApp page for tag of peace.
I had them here on Tuesday, and in MPA, apparently they have various departments. In fact, they have a sports coordinator who is responsible for coordinating sporting events for them. And they have various teams. They have a volleyball team, they have a football team, they have a basketball team in the MPA.
Wow.
So he was like, the 4 gold medals they won, they could have actually won more if they took part in many of the events that happened.
That's our penalty. This striker really disturbed me.
He said,
He took the ball off like a Samoan. The same way, over the back.
But did you take the penalty yourself?
I was the next. Person.
Unfortunately for you.
We were kind of...
You see my voice?
You see how hard they were excited that they scored Magnan? They knew they could not... Because at the first whistle, we took over half pack. They could not get even one shot on target. You can ask the players. Not even a shot.
Charlie, the way you are talking, I think my boss is listening, and I think we are going to reach out to Magdana at this point.
We need to set.
We need to.
Atada,
The more reason why we are going to come there. We are coming to your home to score you.
It is never in our home.
We are coming there. I said we are coming there. My boss is listening and he's going to reach out to your management and then we'll take it from there.
No problem. We are ready for you guys. We are ready. Muftau, it is not a joke.
It's not a joke, yeah.
I want to make this emphatic that FIFA has to write to multimedia. It's very important.
We will receive it.
And we are not playing that 50 minutes.
I will respond. I will respond to the FIFA email.
We're winning the journalists of there. I know you can give me a good response, but I beg you, come with the response of you are accepting the match for us to play.
Oh, no. Yes. Multimedia will always play you whenever the opportunity avails. We are ready.
That's it.
We are ready.
That's it.
You see?
Okay,
so let me understand one thing, right?
Yeah.
You played 50 minutes.
Yes.
Multimedia played 50 minutes.
Yes.
So how come Multimedia won and you couldn't win?
It's just penalties. In a game of 45, you won't get that penalty. We will score you.
So the penalties,
yes.
Multimedia took more penalties than McDonald.
Muftau, I know where you are going to.
At this point, I think we need another event before the year ends.
Thank you.
I think we need another one.
This one is purely McDonald and multimedia. People will come in after beating. People can even join you guys.
Just so you know, the whole Finam industry is listening to us and watching us now. So be very careful. The kind of statements you make.
I'm saying people cannot match.
You might regret it. So,
let's say you are kind of
relax.
You are talking about the Man City, the Chelsea, the Man U. So wait, you are now building up. Let me.
You see what happened to Real Madrid.
Real Madrid game. It's something that I
no. So Courage. Talk to us. The last time you were here, you brought us many different products of FIFA beverages. Talk to us about those. What are they?
All right, so Finam Industry is actually a Ghanaian-owned manufacturing business here. Piva Beverages is actually one of the brands that falls under Finam Industry. So under Piva Beverages, we have 5 flavorful drinks. We have the Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Tangy, Piva Cocktail, and then the Piva Grape. So all of these flavorful drinks, they all have their unique taste in them. We also have a new brand on board. We have a Piva Natural mineral water, and then we have the Game Energy as well.
Okay.
So all of these brands actually falls under the Finam industry. So you can tell that in the subsequent years to come, it's going to be more than just Piva Beverages. So get ready.
We are ready for you.
Talk to me. You want to talk to me about the entire McDonald group?
Yes, sure. No, I'm talking about the whole Mac. You know, with our, God bless him, our Dr. Daniel Macaulay, with the plans and with the vision he has, we have the Q3 company that's into the sea defense. We have the Magna Shipping, Logistics, and Freight Forwarding. We have the EL Salt, Eagle EL Salt, that's into the marketing and the selling of our salt. And we have Electrochem Ghana Limited, that has a 41,000 acre concession for mining of salt. And then we have the Verde Impex, we have Ocean now into shore handling. And then last and for McDonald Foundation, whereby we look about reaching out to those in need, and we'll be meeting Piva for this assistance to help us with these drinks, also for the youth and those around the world to help. Then I want to thank Multimedia also for giving us this platform. And Multimedia has also given us, joining this invitational tournament, they've also given us a free on air.
That's what I was about to mention.
And which we are grateful. We are grateful. And this tournament will take us a long place. And we are coming together with Multimedia to partner them for us to also grow the brand of McDonald Group. We want to thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And this thank you is to say for sponsoring Joy Sports Invitational Tournament.
And also for accepting the invite that we are playing you. Accept it now. Muftau, accept it.
On behalf of the Multimedia Group, we'll write a letter to McDonald Group. If FIFA sends us a letter of your protest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Piva Beverages, thank you for sponsoring the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament.
Let me use this moment to also thank the McDonald Group, everybody, the staff, the CFO, Hayford, the Kweku and Profi, our group CEO. We want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to reach out to everybody in the group. Thank you for the participants also.
And the Joy Sports Invitational, as I mentioned, McDonald Group were sponsors, Piva Beverages were also sponsors as well. Yomi Yogurt, Caveman Watches, Skechers, and Minerals Commission. They made it possible for us to be able to bring together over 1,000 of people at the University of Ghana for the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament 2024. And as you heard from Ni, the Multimedia Group has given each company that participated in the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament airtime worth 20,000 Ghana cedis, and each of these companies can redeem it in the first quarter of 2025. This is how we wrap up the conversation here with me, Muftar Nabila Abdullahi. But as I mentioned before the start of this conversation, Prime Take with Dr. Austin Lugutera will come your way on Saturday, which is tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. on the Joy News channel. And the first part of the conversation will also come your way next week, Friday, at 7:20 a.m. here on the Joy News channel. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us. It is that time of the morning where I share with you my blunt thoughts. And this morning I've titled it simply, Ghana in Focus, the Challenges of Today and Tomorrow. Ghana in Focus, the Challenges of Today and Tomorrow. As we approach election 2024, well, the Americans will get there faster than we do, but that is for them. We must think of ourselves. What is happening today? And what should we be contemplating, not just for the elections, but for the future, when it comes to the economy, when it comes to the backbones of the economy, industry, service, agriculture, and others. When it comes to you and me and our well-being, what are some of the things we ought to be contemplating? And the thoughts I'm about to share with you are not skewed necessarily towards political parties, no. Because in the end, we determine who gets to rule in this country, who gets to become a member of parliament, who gets to become president. And maybe we have to seize the opportunity moving forward to push our leaders to let go of some of the things that they enjoy, including appointments, so that we can have more of a say, like in other jurisdictions, in terms of who leads the community in this or that enterprise. We can leave the MPs and the presidency and all of that to them. I still feel the 2010 Constitutional Review Commission and some of its postulations, some of what it proffers, ought to be taken a second look at so that we can progress as a country. Because if we keep going down the same road we've gone, it's like Henry Ford says, if you keep doing what you've always done, you will keep getting the same results you've always got. So we must change at some point. The question is, are we ready for that change? And the change I'm talking of is not necessarily a change in party. It's not necessarily that. It's a change in mindset. It's a change in our thinking. If I start talking about corruption, it's a change in our thinking, corruption. Because the very people who lead are from us. How do they learn those mentalities? It's just mind-boggling where we are. I hear recently some people from a different country in Europe came to Ghana and they were shocked that we didn't have railways in Ghana, looking at the fact that we're in the 21st century and everything in between. We don't. And yet we have indeed what the president said back then. That's the question. But come with me, because some of the malaises, some of the sickness, not just of the mind, but of action that we face, has brought us to these latest reports from the Afrobarometer. I'll talk about corruption. I'll talk about NITA, the National Information Technology Agency. And then I'll also talk about ECG. My power has been going off. It's a bit erratic. But what are the challenges in there? So let's start with corruption. If you look at the latest Afrobarometer survey, you see there's a trend, and we have to pay attention to the trend because it has become problematic. If we don't stop somewhere, then what are we aiming at going into the future, right? If this were your top, whatever, a league log, imagine the Ghana Premier League from top. You would expect the highest performers, right? But here it is the highest performance in ignominy. The Ghana Police Service, hey, are buying. No magic. But anyway, some of them are also very good. I have good friends in the Ghana Police Service. Some of them talk to me from time to time. But if you look at the narrative out there, the perception, it's worrying. You have the police, 63% of surveyed persons saying they are corrupt. Of course, there are two dimensions that the Afrobarometer looked at, but we focus on just one, 63%. The office of the presidency, the fact that this is appearing here, it gives me chills. It gives me chills. And the fact that you have all three, major arms of government, the three of them, all in here, in the top 5, tells you if we are not looking at it, if we are not keeping our eye on the ball, that there is something fundamentally wrong with our leadership in Ghana. How can you have the presidency at number 2, 54%? You have MPs at number 4 with 51%, and judges and magistrates, the judiciary, at number 5 with 44%. Where are we going? Where will they go? You have the Electoral Commission, 43%, tax officials, third, with 53%. If we don't sit up, you see, it's like when you're getting married, they say, if there's anyone who feels this marriage should not happen, speak up now or forever hold your peace. If we don't talk about these matters, then we might as well stay muzzled and keep quiet, whatever happens to this country. But from here, if you look at the previous years and where we've got to, it's only going to go downhill if something is not done. And that is why we ought to talk about this. Let's go to the next slide. Now, if you look at the trend in terms of the level of corruption, you see, usually when an administration takes off, there is some positivity. But every year, I say, I poto, I chaka, I tete, I say, I pro. 83%. That not just perceived level, but concrete, feelings, sentiments of corruption. In 2014, stay with me. By 2024, 10 years later, it stands at 74%. And don't be happy yet, because the next slide will reveal a certain trend. But if you look at this dip, this is where this steep decline, 83%, then the thinking in 2017, at the start of a new era, 36%. So it had fallen, meaning a positive, right? But it started rising steadily. 2019, 53%. You had added on almost 20 percentage points, about 17 percentage points. You go to 2022, 77%. And in 2024, 74%. You look at 83 and 77, a difference of 6%. Did we go or did we come? Next slide. Then you go to the next slide, and then you look at the fight against corruption. The blue line referencing those who feel the fight against corruption has been very bad. The red line, those who feel it has gone very well. If you look at the blue line, those who say it's very bad, there's an interesting picture. 2012 stood at 56%, rose in 2014 to 74%, then declined. You see the trend. 2017, new administration, 33%. And then they also started steadily rising. 2022, the highest you would see there, 85% saying we are performing very badly. Now it stands at 82%, just 3 percentage points shaved off. In terms of performing very well, you would see that, again, that trend, because it's the inverse. 44%, 26%, rose to 67%, and now it has fallen. Look at that figure, 2024. 16% feeling we are doing very well in the fight against corruption. So if you were giving advice, sometimes when you say these things, they'll say, oh, but you are saying this, where's your data? If you were giving advice as a consultant to any government on the basis of such a performance, what would you tell them? Are they winning the fight against corruption? Are we, as Ghanaians, winning the fight against corruption? I will not say the answer for you. You watching me, you know the answer. Let's go to the next slide. Then you look at trust in institutions, and it's shocking, with the president or the presidency in focus. The level of trust in 2012, remember this was an electoral year, stood at 56%. Then it fell to in 2014 to 41%. After 2016, another electoral year, in 2017, it rose. And that tells you as well about the angst when people talk about the fact that there was so much trust at the dawn of this administration in 2016. So that by 2017, January 7, when it actually took over, the sentiments were there. When that year, the polling went 73%. Look at the steady decline. Now it stands at even lower than in 2012. And even in 2014, it stands at 28%. Confidence level in the president, in the presidency, 2024. I'm not saying it. The Afrobarometer report says so. Next slide. Now, if you look at trust in institutions, the EC, why am I bringing in the EC? Of course, we're heading to elections. 59% in 2012. Mind you, this was an electoral year. 2014, 37%. 2017, you would see, again, that same effect. 54%, 53%, dwindled to 33% in 2022. Look at that. What happened in between 2019 to 2022? 20% drop. These are some of the things we talk about some of the actions and what? Reactions. And now it stands at a low of 28% in 2024. In fact, you know what's interesting? If you look at the trust in the presidency and you look at the trust in the EC in 2024, they both stand at 28%. Is there a story there? I don't know. Next slide. And then focusing on free and fair elections, again, as I get ready to conclude on the Afrobarometer and then move on to something else. If you look at the year 2017, those who said it was completely free and fair stood at 66%. If you look at 2024, 7 years later, it stands at 32%. That is a drop of 34%. It means more than half of that trust has been eroded. Food for thought. Keep quiet. Don't talk. Whether you're NDC or MPP, it doesn't matter. Whether you support some other party, just reflect. Think about this. Think about it. That's where we are. We're on the precipice. So if you see the United States and its embassy here saying some things about if you stoke certain actions or you do anything pertaining to rigging and the rest, you must understand. I feel that it is a bit of an affront to us as a country in terms of sovereignty. If we're more powerful, I mean, how many times do you see the US do that in other countries? It's because we are where we are. But at the same time, you can't fault them. It's the right thing to do because they're also trying to safeguard the beacon of democracy, if not in Africa, in the sub-region. But how did we get here? That's what we ought to be asking ourselves. Let's move on to the next slide. And in terms of that report, what will influence voters' choices? Maybe yours might be in here. Candidates' honesty, 90%. Candidates' character, 88. Campaign promises, 59. Candidates' running mate, 45. Money or gifts or favors. I found this interesting. 30%, 30. Money, gifts, favors will influence them. Hey! You want to be like Esau. You sell your birthright for a pot of bean stew. Well, you can do it. But if they catch you, don't come and complain. Because you know the giver, the receiver, you're so more. Candidates' ethnicity. That's another worry for me. We are still voting on ethnic lines. 30% saying that I'll vote based on the ethnicity of the candidate. We have a lot of work to do in this country, and that is why we must get proper education. The more enlightened people are, the less some of these factors come in, honestly. But let's quickly proceed from here. Let's go past the Afrobarometer and come here. I was mentioning only yesterday about those drones when the Ghana Chamber of Mines was here, right? And then we also had, in fact, it was the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. They were talking about needing about 100 drones to man a huge swathe of territory so that they can monitor arms and movement and smuggling. A few years ago, we spent $3 million claiming we were bringing in 200 drones to combat Galamsey. Today, we claim we are still fighting Galamsey. Where are the drones? We showed 3 of them. Where are the 200, the 197? Similar situation here with NITA, the National Information Technology Agency. Recently, it came to the floor of Parliament. What's the issue? During the COVID period, we claimed to have expended $17 million, and we did expend it. $17 million paid for the construction of 300 workstations to avoid the spread of the COVID-19 virus during the pandemic. So you create that workstation and all of that. Do you know the interesting thing? Somehow, we can't find the workstations. Yeah. We can't find them. So where are they? NITA has been called upon to come to the floor of Parliament. And I'm not saying or suggesting anything. I'm only saying, NITA, if you have the facts, if you have the workstations, bring them, because we need to use them. We may need them for other things. They can be retooled. And we have to account for the money, right? So where are the workstations? In this country, there are so many phantom projects. Projects we spend money on, your money, my money, that can't be found. So there you have it. $17 million. Multiply that if you like, because in some places the dollar is exchanging for 17, right? So multiply 17 by 17. Okromuha. Next slide. And if you look at the basis for the contempt charges against NITA, it has to do with its failure to provide documentation justifying the $17 million contract and no evidence being adduced to support the claim of providing the workstations. So, provide documentation, you will not provide. Provide anything to support the workstations having actually been worked on or constructed. So in a situation like this, what would you say? I don't know. Like I said, I bring out the facts, you make the deductions. That's up to you. Let's go to the next slide. I just want to proceed to talk about ECG quickly. You know what a cash waterfall mechanism is? When we started this a few years ago, it was to ensure that the regulators, stakeholders within the electricity supply chain would get fair value for the work they were delivering. Fairness in terms of the distribution of revenue and transparency as well. That's the bottom line of what the CWM, the cash waterfall mechanism, is about. But if you look at the latest, and I have been experiencing power outages, I don't know about you. If you look at the latest Sunon Asogli power plant shutdown, saga, the reasons, inability to fund its operations due to the failure of ECG to honor overdue payments, and the ECG's debt stands at 259 million not cedis, USD, dollars. So multiply this by 15, 16, 17, whichever way you want to do it. What figure would you get there? That's how much they are owed. And these are the challenges we face. Because in the end, you would notice that there's also talk about the fact that if we don't address some of these challenges, we're going to face further power outages. If we don't address some of these challenges, we're going to face further power outages. And if we do, you know what that means for all of us. If the power outages happen, we all suffer. So, these are the thoughts I have to share for you today based on these situations. And I'm talking about, as I go to my final slide, I'm talking about the fact that per the finance ministry's unpaid shortfalls in the CWM, the cash waterfall mechanism, you would notice that from August 2023 to July 2024, we are looking at 2.6 billion Ghana cedis from the finance ministry. There's been a lot of talk about, the finance ministry's role in this and ECG's own role and collections and shortfalls and everything. But you see, in the end, all that talk about where you say, where you say, and all of that, it boils down to those figures. The $200+ million and this reflection in there. It affects you and me. We can't run away from it. So rather than pretend the problem isn't there, let's face the problem head on. And let's realize that it's not restricted to just our leaders. We ourselves, as followers, as citizens of this country, must help push so that we get to that dreamland. So I'll end the way I started. Ghana in focus, the challenges of today and tomorrow. How are we planning to deal with the challenges today and tomorrow? In terms of the politics, in terms of ourselves as followers, and how we mean to change the rhetoric. What do you say? My name is Benjamin Akakpo. These are my blunt thoughts shared with you, raw, hot, unedited, undiluted. As always, I pray fervently, may God bless our motherland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. we zoom now into our election headquarters on the AM show. And today we take you to the Angloga constituency, where the electorate is intensifying its call for a fair share of the national resources, or the nation's resources. Now, high on their list are demands for employment opportunities, agro-processing facilities, and an end to illegal mining, aka galamsey. As the youth press for these changes, the two leading candidates on the tickets of the NDC and the MPP face off over who has the best record to lead the people. Well, this morning, Carlos Caloni takes us on a journey to the Angloga constituency in the Volta region in this latest edition of Constituency Lens. Stay.
In today's edition of Your Constituency Lens, we are focusing on bread and butter issues of constituents here in the Angloga constituency. For about 32 years, the NDC has dominated this constituency. Will that change this year? We don't know. But that's why we are here to speak to the constituent to understand the key issues that will inform their vote in this election. So what are the issues for you?
Okay, first of all, I'm Gabriel Yaojirako. I can see like NDC dominated for like a quite long...
Since 1992?
Yeah, sure. But there are no developmental projects in our constituency. And first of all, we promised Harbour for some years now, but up to now we are not seeing anything or any change. So those are the things that we are looking forward to. Yeah, and also at least like we should have something like a tomato processing factory. Yeah, so that when our farmers harvest their tomato, yeah, they can get like easy access to like where to sell it and get like something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we see that currently there's a high bumper harvest happening in the Angloga constituency now, and so it's part of the reason why you think you need a tomato processing factory. All right. So your name is what?
My name is Gosin Dogbe.
So what are your issues?
First of all, we know that we vote for development, and whenever we vote, we don't see the reflection of our vote. Sometimes they will come here and, give us plenty promises, but when they go or we elected them into office, we don't see what our term has done for us. So this is Anglo. All the time when the national cake is being thrown out there, it doesn't hit us. We don't even get it whether it has been thrown or not. So as Joy News, you are with us today. We wanted you to take our concerns, and when you also go, you do documentary, you do things that will be keeping our leaders up, so that when they promise us, they know that they have demanded the help from us. So when they go, they should make sure they come back and help us.
Okay, so give us the specifics. For instance, in the area of youth development, what are the key issues for you, one or two, that you would want us to carry to the policymakers who are watching us?
First of all, what we do over here is our livelihoods. We have tomato farm. If you don't go to farm, you go to fishing. But this another annual tomato season for our mothers, our fathers. When they go and harvest, they don't get markets. The market that they get sometimes is that, let me take it 1 city. Once we are not selling the thing 1 city. So these are our things that when we have industrialization here and farms, the fruits are produced like that. We know that we have assurance that what we have produced is going to bring
ready market.
Ready market. And not over here. We also have villages that we need road. There are poor road network out there. When you go to Shima, Kome Road, we are suffering over there. I'm the one talking to you right now. Most of the time I go to those areas. When I'm back, my waste. So I'm telling Joy News.
So the road network is also a challenge.
It's also a challenge to have. Sometimes when our mothers are pregnant or fathers, it's hard for us to transport them from their sitting places to clinic for their health. So we battle very strongly. So
okay, great. Hold on there. So let's look at football. I'm told that there are a lot of talent in this Angloga constituency, for instance. Do you have a challenge in that regard as well?
Yeah, sure. Like there's no AstroTurf like to nature talent over here mostly, and when there's a football competition, something like that, like we have to go to either Anseko, Ketasco, something like that. And most of the time, the principals they don't agree for the school park to be used for those things because of like they think maybe like it will open door for like some kind of like bad people
to come to the camp.
Yeah, to come.
So what therefore is your call?
I'm calling on the government to at least they should provide us with at least 2 or 3 astroturfs so that we can nurture talent here, because there are a lot of hidden talents over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it means that both the NPP and the NDC are not taking advantage of this talent because they are not investing in the infrastructure that will actually push this talent up, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Finally, before we go, what do you make of the NDC's dominance in this constituency for the past 32 years? I'll come to you with the same question. And whether you think the Angloga constituency now needs a change. What do you make of NDC's dominance?
I realize that, let's say at least 90%, or if I stand to be corrected, the most, or let's say the greater population vote for NDC, but we don't see any change.
That doesn't reflect in development.
Yeah, sure. So I think at least I think we need change, something like that. Yeah, because let's say a few years in or let's say some years in office, which the NPP is in office, but I think they've done something massively more than the NDC used to do.
In the Angloga constituency?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Okay, that's his opinion. What's your opinion?
Thank you very much. We are still telling them that our 5% that we know that is the total annual revenue that government gives for development. We are telling them that the taxpayers' money, it is that money that they say they should bring back to come and construct road for us, come and make our health system attractive, affordable for us, and also provide job opportunity. We are aware of that. That is the use of the 5%. So today I'm telling them that we all know for the fact that Anglo is the voter bank of Ghana. This is where much votes come from. But
for the NDC.
And the NDC, yeah. Let me talk about NDC. Sorry, we vote for them here purposely because we know that JJ has come from Keta. So because of that, I cannot bypass JJ and go and vote for them. So that is the notion. And now what they are doing, it is telling the youth that we are no more in that era. Now I vote for you, you come back and produce. So, this vote we are coming to do is very crucial. Because, just to cut a long story short, they should know that we need development. Okay. We are not just voters.
So there are women and girls concerns also in the Anglo constituency, and so I have a few of them to share those concerns with us. So what are the things you are looking for before you vote in this year's election?
We have to end galamsey because we the children or we the youth, we will become the future leaders, and inadequate of water and most of the things, the fishes and the most of the living things in the waters will die. So they have to end galamsey before we vote this year, because it will disturb us with the youth in the future.
Okay. Apart from the galamsey, do you have any other issues of concern for you in the Anglo constituency, to be specific?
Unemployment and education. Most of the boys and most of the youth are not going to school. And some of us, we graduate, but we are still in the house. We didn't go to school yet. So we want the government to look to take the education and the unemployment into consideration.
Now the youth are looking for work. They cannot get work to do. They cannot get job to do. So what the government are going to do for us now, you're supposed to create a job for the area over here. We are not having a job over here. Now, there's a tomatoes farm over here, but there's no tomatoes processing factory over here. You see, those are the things the government is supposed to do. Yeah.
Okay, so we see that this time they're having a bumper harvest. We've seen a lot of trucks entering the constituency. And so you are thinking that those who are seeking your mandate should consider things like tomato processing factory?
Really, so that you can create job for the children. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
We don't have job. Yeah, so we need job and we need factory too. Yeah, so some of the things that we need here.
What would you say the youth in Angloga basically do? The fact that they don't have job, how is that affecting youth development?
The job that they do here is only farming and fishing. That is the only job that we have here. Yeah.
And how is that also going?
Sometimes it's 50-50.
I have been in town since January, but since yesterday I approached town, I could see all darkness on the streets. And we can't be in darkness Wise, we have MPs, we have ministers mentioning Anglonga that they are coming from Anglonga. So I'm saying by the close of, let's say, coming month, they should come and focus and do our street lights and all our needs to us.
Well, here in the Angloga constituency, farming is a major source of livelihood for thousands of constituents. And as you can see, tomato season is here. A lot of harvest is happening, but you can see this tomato, it's going bad already on the farm. And the farmers here have a lot of concerns, and they expect the political class to address as we head towards the 2024 election. Felix, we have a few weeks to the election. You as a farmer, what are the key issues you are looking out for in this election that will inform your vote as farmers in the Anglogan constituency?
The first concern I have for the government is like we don't have a regular supply of farm inputs. Even when they are there, they are very expensive. An average farmer cannot buy a bag of fertilizer. So I'm appealing to the government, if there is any way they can subsidize the fertilizer for the farmers. I think that will help us. Secondly, this is the harvesting period. We have a lot of post-harvest loss. That means like when we harvest, the market women can never exhaust all the produce. So therefore, determine even the price that they wish. So we are experiencing mostly post-harvest loss in this locality. So we are appealing to the government to bring out warehouse, cold rooms or silos, so that if we have bumper, we can store some for future use. Yes. Lastly, if I'm not mistaken, there must be some regulation as to taking care of the post-harvest loss if the processing plant can come, so that if we have the bumper like this, some of them can be processed for future use. And I think this will even add a lot of value to our produce.
Which means you'll be able to create a lot more jobs also.
Yes, yes. The whole of this community, most farmers depend on this farming job, and that is all everybody does here.
But currently, as the situation stands now, it appears that this post-harvest losses and the fact that you don't have control over the pricing, are you making losses in terms of finance?
A lot. Sometimes when after you have done everything, you can never even plow back. So we are making a lot of losses.
Actually, we need to have a factory, because we have been doing this business for a very long time now, and whenever we produce, then the product will just remain just like that and it will go bad. So we need a factory, because when you talk about the Porter's 5 forces, the buyers have a upper hand. This is a perishable good. When they relax for 2 weeks and they leave these goods for you, you could see what will happen. So we need a factory, so that when the factory is available, then the buyers will also not have that upper hand over us. You see, so
as it stands now, it appears you are losing.
We are losing. We are losing because they say the price, because it's a perishable something. 2 weeks, you can't keep it. So we need a factory or a silo, a big something that can keep it, so that it will take some 2 months or whatever, then you can sustain the price, so that we can also gain something.
Most of the time, you see that whenever we farm, we normally face buyers normally come here and then fix their own price of the tomatoes goods that they want to buy. So most of the time you see that they will bring a bigger box of tomatoes, and then they will give their own price to it. So each and every year, we normally face that problem. So maybe based on Joy News, I might think maybe it's the best place so that I can also voice my.
So what do you want done about this challenge? The fact that you produce but somebody else comes to set the price.
So I wish maybe the government can come and intervene for us, so that each and every farmer can get some fertilizer from the sponsorship from the government, so that in terms of farming, they themselves will come in for, let's say, agriculture products or any factory that they will set up, so that we the farmers here, we can benefit from that Here, as you can see, we don't have any work doing apart from farming. If you didn't farm, maybe you fish. You go to the fishing. So that would be my concern for now.
We want the government, or either if they vote for MPP or NDC, we want them to do tomatoes factory for us here, so that if any time that you do the farming, we can harvest it and get money. So that is what we want. We want the government to, or any political party that will come to the power, to do for us.
Currently, what is the situation like? We've seen that you've done a lot of harvest, and if this factory is not done, what will happen to this your tomato?
We are not getting anything from the farm. If they have the factory here, we get let's say whatever that we want to get, we will get it. But as for now, we are talking. If we farm, they come and buy it anyhow, or let's say cheap prices, and we are losing a lot of what we have to get from the farm. So this one, we are begging the government to help us so that we can get what we need to survive.
Which is the tomato
farming. We need the factory, whether it is MPP or NDC, any political party that we in the power. We want them to come and help us here, so that they will do the factory for us, so that we too will be surviving for our. We will be using, or let's say, we will be surviving for this
from the farming that you are doing. Well, these have been the concerns of constituents here in the Angloga constituency. They've raised a number of issues, from deplorable state of roads, as well as the call for a tomato processing factory, among other things. I have the two leading aspirants in this constituency on the ticket of the NDC, also on the ticket of the NPP, here with me, where we're going to ask them these questions to respond to.
So we continue this conversation on our constituency lens, and of course we're staying in that constituency, the Anglo or Angloga constituency. Joining me in the studio, of course, Sweetie Abochi, as we head there. But our guest this morning, Samuel Kofi Sebuava, he's assembly member for the Angloga Lashibi electoral area. He joins the conversation. We also have the MPP's Angloga parliamentary candidate, that is Seth Yomenu, and the NDC's candidate as well, Richard Kwame Sepe. All of them join us for this conversation. But let me check who is available now. Mr. Sebuava, can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Sebuava. Samuel Kofi Sebuava. Okay, I don't think I can hear him. Let me check whether I have Seth. Seth, can you hear me? Okay, Samuel Kofi Sebuava, if you can hear me, please unmute and let me check your sound. Can you hear me, Seth? Mr. Sebuava?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so if you are using a television or some other set to follow, please don't do that. It will give us feedback. Just follow us on the gadget you are using. Sweetie Abochi, would you like to initiate the conversation?
Well, let me start with you, Samuel. Thank you for joining us. Concerns of the constituents regarding youth employment, it looks like it's very high. How serious is the challenge as we speak? Okay, we are trying to connect to Samuel. Samuel is the assemblyman for the Angloga Lashibi electoral area. And in that constituency lens content we brought to you, realize that most of the young people were asking for means to work, employment, development, among others. So we're trying to get, from his perspective, how serious really the situation is before we go to our parliamentary candidates. But if we have Richard with us, do we have Richard with us?
It appears we don't have Richard.
We don't have Richard, but we have Seth. Do we have Seth? All right. Okay, but this is my homeland. I was really happy watching my, should I call them brothers and sisters from Angloga? Although it's not a very happy thing, because they're talking about the challenges they have in that constituency and the needs, and how these two independent NDC and NPP parliamentary candidates can actually meet them at the point of their needs. Hopefully we can connect with them in a bit, and then we can get the conversation started.
But it's clear that the people from the community thrive on two major economic activities, one being farming, the other being fishing. And even when you look at farming, from what we saw, it appears tomato farming is predominant in that area. Sometimes I think through these issues and I wonder, look, you're doing 1D, 1F, and we're trying to industrialize and ensure that people get something to do and all that. If these people predominantly produce tomatoes strategically, what are the market centers? Can we ensure that maybe we are enhancing their production of tomatoes through certain agricultural practices to boost production, and also to ensure that as they produce, we can have a factory or some site? I always go back to the increment era. Silos were made. Where are they now? And so we have a lot of, especially with perishable commodities like tomatoes, they perish very quickly. So you can have the people, plant, harvest, but if they are not bought in time, people lose out and all of that. So I don't know. It's not that we lack the thinking, but somehow we still are not able to harness this so that we can attain food self-sufficiency. And then there's also fishing.
Yeah.
And I heard one of them talk about galamsey and its effects and everything, and the fisher folk and what they need. It appears, well, they've been left in limbo for a while, and they are still struggling to keep up and keep body and soul together.
What's interesting, Ben, is that this isn't a problem that's just come up now. What have the past members of parliament been doing? What has the past governments been doing for this town? And in fact, yesterday, just to put in perspective, I was having a conversation with the CEO of Ghana Commodity Exchange, and they talk about having warehouses where farmers can bring their produce, and the system works like the stock exchange market, where when someone purchases your goods, instantly you can see that someone has bought it, and then your money will be made available to you and all that. Do they have access to these institutions and these systems that were actually brought up to fix these issues that we are still experiencing in terms of post-harvest losses and all that? We cannot say that for years, or should I say for 32 years now, where we've been going between NDC and PP, they do not understand that the people of Angloga and so many other farming communities produce perishable goods and put systems in place that can, enable them to make or get some value from their produce and not to just go to waste. So it's really a question of what have we been doing all this while, and how can we stop pussyfooting around the issues but tackle it head on, so that every year we don't have to come back here and talk about post-harvest losses, infrastructural gaps, talk about access to road networks that can, give them the opportunity to transport their goods, even to other countries. We have the African Continental Free Trade Area and all those, should I say, systems in place. Like you said, Ben, it's not about thinking up the ideas, the great ideas and the policies. It's about the implementation of these ideas and policies and how really we're able to do it so that the disconnect can be reduced.
And I think it's even not about talking about the same issues, even if it's ad nauseum. It's about, I shouldn't be talking about, let's say, this particular issue in this particular community for 10 years. Do you get it?
Yeah.
As for the issue, it may be there in other places, but are we resolving them so that over time, it's like free SHS, it's like education in general, it's like schools under trees, okay? We had over 2,000 a few years ago. Yeah. Before election 2016, we heard what the vice president said about, schools under trees and how they would be eradicated. Today, what is the status of? So it is not about, we should stop talking about, but the point that if we can still continue talking about them, but have we moved, let's say, from 3,000 schools under trees to about 300 within a period, then you know that, wow, there's a gap and we're making inroads. So even as we talk about them in a certain context. But if you look at people like these in Anloga, and you can tell from how some of them were talking that this is a persistent problem. You get it. You'd have fisher folk in different parts, especially in the fishing communities here in Accra, in the central region and others, who will tell you that premixed fuel has been a problem. How this premixed problem, everywhere. This motorboard, the outboard motors and all of that. I mean, we want to play politics with everything. We can't simply say this is a system. If you feel that, I am MPP, when the NDC came to power, they did politics with it. I'm NDC, when the MPP came, they did politics with it. Why don't you implement a system in such a way that you can't play politics with it and the people who actually need them, get them? But when it comes to premix fuel, for example, then you see that, oh, it is ending up with some person who is a hairdresser, who has nothing to do with the situation, who is benefiting because that person belongs to a certain political party. I mean, the issues are there. We know how to solve them, but I don't know. And I feel really bad. I keep saying that sometimes I engage certain groups, and you have some of these Westerners come into town, and I feel ashamed. You know why? Because they point to some things that I have thought of that I know we should be doing, and they ask as though it sounds, are these people not thinking? That's how it sounds when you engage some of these people who come from other countries, engaging you on what is happening in your country. Like I mentioned during the news review, trains. We should have proper train networks in Ghana by now. The big talk about sky trains and everything. Let's start from the ground. Start from the ground before you.
Seen it? Oh, Benjamin, they've put up some buildings, I don't know what to call it. I can touch it if I stand on this table, but they've put up something.
Stop patronizing me. Don't patronize.
They're in the process of
I mean,
constructing sky trains in this country.
You know what? We have all these highfalutin ideas and everything. Really, what we need in Ghana are the very basics. Very basic stuff. Yeah. Start with the basics, strengthen the basics, and then it's like building a house or a skyscraper. You start with the most important portion is the foundation. How deep, how strong. Once you do that, then you can build on it. But if you've not laid that foundation, you can't do anything.
And that's why many stalwarts, not just political, but in various sectors, will tell you that really, when it comes down to it, at the core of our problems and issues in this country, it's a leadership problem. Because if you have leaders who have the interests of the nation at heart or are concerned about development, some of these issues, the fundamental issues that we are facing, we will not have, you know, but this is where we are. And, but Benjamin, I don't know, it will not shock you. I was also at, was it Jamestown a few days ago, another fishing community, and the issues that the people of Angloga are raising is not very different from the issues that the Jamestown residents are also raising. But let's circle back to Samuel Kofi Sebuava, who is the assembly member for Angloga. Samuel, if you can hear me, I was asking you to paint the picture of how serious the unemployment issue is in the Angloga constituency.
Thank you. I can hear you. That is the major challenge we have in Anglo constituency or Anglogan district. The youth, after completing school, a few of them go into farming. You know, it used to be reserved for the elderly those days. But these days, the major challenge is that with a growth of population, the land available for farming is becoming smaller. So those who wish to even go into farming don't have land that they can farm on. So apart from that, the other major source of livelihood is fishing. And either in the lagoon or on sea. And both sides are not the best, especially the sea. When they go fishing, they come out with nothing. And it's making things very, very hard for the youth, mainly in the constituency.
What are the leaders doing about this so far as we speak? What have they done so far? And what are they doing? Is there anything in progress as we speak?
Well, there are government policies like those entrepreneurial programs, but those who attempt to get involved, at the end, they get disappointed. It's only a few that are given startups. Yesterday, we were briefed at the assembly meeting that a number of them will be given startups. So we are waiting for that to happen. But even that will not solve the problem that we have at hand.
Right. And right before I let you go, are there other issues, challenges that exist in the constituency that we haven't yet caught wind of?
Well, apart from bad road network in certain parts of the constituency, for instance, Kuma, we have a very bad road, and then Shima. And then when you go to the Jita Nyangwi area, the road network there too is not the best.
Okay.
And because of that, lorry fares are very high here.
Yeah.
From Angloga to Kome, for instance, you pay no less than 15 cedis for a distance that could normally be traveled within 10 minutes.
Okay.
So it's also a big challenge.
All right. Thank you so much. Samuel Kofi Sebuava is the Assembly Member for Anglonga Lashibi electoral area. But we'll get back into the studio and Benjamin will take over.
Well, let's also bring into the conversation the parliamentary candidate who is actually the Member of Parliament for Anglo. I'm talking about Richard Kwame Sepe. A very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
All right. Thank you for joining the conversation. I just want to start off by asking you, as Member of Parliament, what is the state of Anglo today? When was the last time you were there?
Thank you very much. Let me use the opportunity to wish my people a very good celebration of Ogbechocho, which is coming on tomorrow. So I'd like to use your platform.
Pardon my doing this. I'm really sorry. Let me also introduce the NPP's parliamentary candidate for that constituency, Seth Yomenu. Seth, good morning. Can you hear me, Seth?
I think
you would have to unmute so that I can hear you, Mr. Yomenu. All right, I'll get back to you. I just wanted to usher you into the conversation as well as we proceed. I'll get back to you shortly. Please, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to use the opportunity to greet the Dao Mafia and other chiefs and the good people of Anglo for the program that we are running now. That is the Ogbechocho that will come off formally tomorrow. State of affairs of Anglo.
And let me just say that we're a bit pressed for time. We have just about 20 minutes to work with, so problem. I want the two of you to have ample time, straight to the point.
Very well. I could say that for now, things are better than before.
Okay.
I can tell you that about 4 years ago, I was elected as the Member of Parliament for Anglo. Though those times people were doubting whether I could be able to change anything because they realized I am the first coming amongst them. And I can tell you on authority that, like the issue you mentioned about unemployment issue, equally because we're also part of the country, Ghana, and that of the whole world, we are also suffering the same unemployment rate situation. Currently, when you look at the standard survey, which was done about 4 years ago, we are having about 13% of our youths being unemployed. Having that in mind, I was able to enroll about 1,026 of them into different skills models. And as
which skills models?
About 11 skills. We are talking of dressmaking, hairdressing, masonry, tiling, blacksmithing, carpentry, and a whole lot. But there are 11 models. I have the pictures that I can even show you. If I had come earlier, you will have projected some.
Are you pushing some of them into farming and fishing? Because some of them are already in those, and they are facing problems.
For now, virtually, if you are born within the enclave of Anglo, you have no option than to either do the farming as part of the usual life. or you do the fishing, depending on the zone that you are coming from.
So farming or fishing, in addition to other things you do.
Very well.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I'll be handing over shortly to Sweetie, who is actually from that area, and she'll be questioning you further into it. But you say that things have improved. I don't know what the state of infrastructure is. Some of them were talking about roads, hospitals, and all of that. And there was an interesting point that was made. One of them, in this constituency lens, made mention of the fact that MPP comes, NDC comes, all these administrations come, and they have members of parliament, but they are not seeing much change in their lives, especially among the young people. You are telling me about these nice things.
Yes,
you're doing.
if I can,
I don't know whether the people are feeling them.
No, if I'm telling you that I've enrolled 1,026, as I'm talking to you, this morning, they are undergoing pre-graduation ceremony. That the actual graduation will be done on Sunday and Tuesday in Anglo there. And this will be the 11th cohort that we are graduating. In all, there are about 17 cohorts involving the 1,026. Remember,
just a quick question before Sweetie comes in. How many youth in all? Do you know the youth population of Anglo?
For now, no, I cannot. I can only give you the percentage. I cannot give you.
What percentage of the population?
The population of the youths in Anglo, they are over 40%.
Over 40%.
Yes. And the whole of Anglo, we are having about our population is about 108,000 thereabouts.
That's the population of Anglo?
Yes.
Okay, so if the population of Anglo is one what?
The population of Anglo is about 110,000.
Okay, so if you do the math, that times 110.
So we have over 40,000.
It means you have about 44,000 youths.
Yes. And remember, because we have schools there's senior high schools and vocational schools, whenever the population is being captured, they are also captured. And they are already over 13,000.
I see. Okay.
Yes. And if you could permit me, let me also inform the viewers that Angloga, in the whole of Volta region, is the only area that you can have sand, pure sand, that I can say ocean of sand. So access from the farm to the major road becomes a problem. I've seen this, and as I'm talking to you, I've been able to construct about 8 kilometers of those roads just to help them within these 4 years. And I can also assure you that as I'm going home now, I'm going to do another one, which I've started. I'm going to finish it up for them to have the peace.
So you are doing some work, but particularly I just want to focus on the issue of post-harvest losses. Most of your residents or constituents are fisher folk and farmers, right? Yes. And they talk about how day in, day out, their produce go, perish because there aren't enough factories, there aren't enough systems in place to help them put it to good use so they can get value for their money. What are you doing about that?
That is why I'm praying that my government should come to power and will resolve that issue. My sister.
Is it as simple as the NDC coming to power in terms of because if you listen to the people, they would say it's as though different administrations come, but they are not really feeling the impact.
Different administration with different personalities leading them. But as I'm talking to you, no MP since time immemorial was able to even construct a kilometer or half a kilometer of a feeder road.
Okay.
And no MP was able to put any of these people into this youth unemployment or creating this kind of modules for them.
Right.
So if I'm doing this and I'm telling you that if my government comes to power, we're going to go over this. Remember, tomato farming is a seasonal sort of thing. And if we are doing school feeding, where on earth can we be saying that we have gluts for tomatoes? Meanwhile, we could use the same thing, we process them. We should be able to give the produce to the schools to use.
All right, please hold for us. Let's bring in Seth Yomenu into the conversation as well. Seth, thank you for joining us. So you are seeking to unseat Mr. Sefe as the Member of Parliament for Angloga, and you have been the DCE for some time now, yet your constituents are talking about unemployment, access to basic things like road and agro-processing industries. What's the challenge there? You are also somebody in power authority to do something about it. What's the challenge there, and what do you intend to do differently from what the sitting MP is doing?
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. I want to stand in the shoes of my MP to greet our king, our mafia detect, the overlord of Anglo, and the chiefs, and wish them a good festival, which we are going to have tomorrow. Concerning Anglo, as I am a district chief executive, with all the things people are saying, I think some of them, they are right. Because we all know that unemployment situation now in the country is very high. So the same thing applies to Angloga. And we are also doing our best as a government. So we are also operating some models under Youth Employment Program to employ some of the youth, like the community policing, at the end, training them also in skills. So as I'm talking now, we have trained youth more than 300 at various stages, maybe from vocation to vocations. And we are going to organize a program for them to give them the start-up kits so that they can start the work they are doing. So in general, when we talk about employment situation in Angloga, there is no different from what is happening in the country. But we are also doing our best as government to see how best we can resolve it so that our youth can get meaningful jobs and be doing in our place. As you know, this area, our main occupation is fishing and agriculture. So a lot of our youth also engage in farming activities. Last year, they have a lot of challenges because of the flood. So their farming was not good as the way it should be. So by this year, with the support of the government, by providing about 16,000 bags of fertilizer to them free, I think this time you can see that the farmers are now happy because most of our youth, they are engaging in farming activities.
Mr. Emmanuel, I'm sorry to rush you, but we are pressed for time, so let's go straight to the point. You've already situated what you've been doing and what this government has been doing. What do you intend to do differently? And also because the specific issues that have been raised have been existing for a while now. So what is your strategy to bring the solution to the people?
Yeah, my sister, what I want to do, and I'm appealing to my people to give me the nod. You know that this area is the stronghold of NDC since 1992. They didn't vote for any MPP parliamentary candidate to represent.
So you also think it's as simple as one party being in power, because the sitting MP just said that, as part of a solution to the problems, he hopes that NDC comes to power. You also think that it's that simple about one party being in power?
That's what I'm saying, is that usually when we vote for maybe a change, at that time you can do the comparison. So that's why I'm saying from 1992, people who represent us in parliament, all of them are coming from NDC. So because of that, at times, they take our people for the right. They feel that, oh, they are strongholds, so at the end they will vote for. So what I want to do differently is that I want to look at the agricultural sector of our people and then the fishing center. What I want to do is that when my people voted for me, is that I want to introduce solar panel system for irrigation to continue, because they pay a lot of money on electricity when they are farmed. So I want to bring in solar panel, and then the fishing industry too. I want to enhance it by providing the fishing materials such as outbound motors to our farmers so that they can do the fishing. And at the end also, I also want to do the trade and vocation aspect. That is the thing that can take most of our youth from the streets. As we are talking now, this government, we have TVET school in our area here. So I want to invest in the TVET school so that we can train most of our youth to acquire skills. Because if they acquire skills, they can be doing something meaningful for themselves. When it comes to education also, I want to also look at the education. We know that free SHS is there for us, but getting to tertiary institution it's becoming very difficult for our youth at times paying the school fees. I also want to look at it, create a scholarship scheme for our youth so that most of them can go to schools in those days.
We will circle back to you in a bit, but Mr. Sefeso, really, you've been in power. You just said that you're hoping that the NDC will come to power so that some of the issues can be solved. But why should the people trust you and give you, why should we trust you and give you that bit again to represent us in Parliament if you think that the solution to the problems of Angloga is intricately interwoven with NDC coming into power? Why should they trust you as an individual who wants to represent them in government?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see that at least I mentioned two major issues that I'm trying to resolve or I've been resolving. Based on that, they have that trust in me already. But what I intend doing more is that those roads that I talked about, some are not up to where they are supposed to be. So I have to make sure it gets to the beaches, it gets to the farm gates, so that the people will have the full benefit of those roads that I'm constructing. If you come to education, though I'm an MP, but I've been able to lobby some NGOs and my good self, I put up about three unique classroom blocks, office and store. So I supported about 463 students who are in nursing training, universities, and all over, which never happened before. Let me put it on record that my chief executive, who is also coming up now to contest, he has been the DC or the MC for 8 good years. If he's now mentioning those things, then you see that he's not up to the task. Look, if you look at the Assembly Common Fund, the MPs are supposed to take about 5%, and the assemblies are to take 95%. If I've been able to do almost all this, let me also bring to the fore that most of the cheap compounds that we have around, we're not having labs. So, for instance, if you're in Anyangu area, you fall sick, they'll have to refer you to Atoko for your blood samples to be taken. But I've been able to equip about 6 of them, cheap compound.
These are the reasons why the people should
and they know that,
maintain you.
Yes, they know that if I'm re-elected, more and better things are what is in stock for them
so if you are re-elected, but the NDC is not in power, and then what happens?
The problem is, I've been able to achieve this single-handedly, but I'm saying that I could do more. For instance, if you go to the Shima area, the Agotwe to the Bakpo Road, the NDC government awarded this contract, and this current government claimed that they wanted to do forensic auditing. Since then to date, the roads which has been well shaped, only for it to be quoted, has stalled, and now it has degenerated.
All right.
So if my government were to be in power, do you think that road will have been left like that? And my people, they know for sure that if they want comfort, they want development, and whatever, it is only my government or my party that can bring that into the fore.
All right, please hold for Ben. I'm sure we'll get back to Mr. Menu for his final bid as well.
I don't know what to make of, because it's a desperate situation for me. Both gentlemen on the MPP and NDC side are acting as though without their governments being in power in terms of the presidency, their hands would be tied a lot. I do understand that members of parliament are technically not agents of development. It is something we have created, a monster, I think, we have created with our system, but a monster that they have fed into, a monster they MPs are feeding and would be MPs, because they seem to suggest that they would do things that technically do not lie within their jurisdiction. Yeah. They are lawmakers, but now they have to construct roads and everything. But I feel more can be done. He makes mention of, the DCE for the area and how much more can be done. I think the basics ought to be addressed, and some of those challenges would be dealt with. You don't necessarily need to be in government. If we get the structures right, you don't need to be in government. But I don't know how you feel about that. I don't have any further questions on that.
Actually, like you mentioned, If we were to have time, I can enumerate over 47 different projects that I've been able to do, though my government is not in power. I've been able to lobby some people like Toby Afede, who helped me to string electricity from Atitati to Fuvama.
Well, that points to the fact that it is doable.
Yes, which I've been doing.
It is possible to do something
without
government being...
Yes, but what I'm saying is
So all I'm saying is, I don't disagree with you.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, you see, action starts from the mind.
Yes.
Let's move away from that mindset of, unless my government is in power, I can't do much.
For sure.
It's a problem with both sides, and I'm hearing it from both of you, and that's my worry.
Yes.
But we do have to get back to Mr. Yomanu before we go, because we are pressed for time. I'll come back to you for the final bit.
Thank you.
But Mr. Yomanu, so, I mean, Mr. Sefa is saying that from your rhetoric, he's inferring that you're not up to the task. In about 30 seconds to 1 minute, what's your argument for why the people should vote for you instead to lead them or represent them?
My sister, thank you very much for the opportunity again. I always disagree with my MP concerning when he's talking about development. I was the district chief executive, 8 years now. So he cannot say that at the end we didn't do anything. I have a leaflet here. I have done about 60 projects in Angloga. The Angloga district we are talking about here too was created by this government. He says in 2019, he knows that when they talk about development, what we have done as government in Angloga, he knows that they cannot match it. So concerning that, I am here, I am not supporting, or you don't know whether I can do something better. I want my people to appeal to my people that they should try it differently and see. Because as they feel that this is their strongholds, the way they should lobby for our people, they don't do it. So I just want to appeal to the people that this is the time for them to make the change so that they will say different administration, and at the end, we fight for our people, because he knows that I am somebody who works. So today, as we are on a radio station, TV station, he will not praise me. Concerning the money he's talking about, people giving them skills to.
All right.
It is the MP Common Fund, which I have approved for him to engage our people and give them skills.
Seth Yomanu, thank you so much. He's the NPP parliamentary candidate for Angloga constituency. You have the final word in about 20 seconds.
Okay, he's giving 30, no problem. Let me just say that in terms of working environment, we are doing our bits. Okay. We just want to improve the life of our people. He is also looking at it in a different angle. I'm also looking at it in a different angle. But most MPP communicators, you listen to them as if they're in opposition, wanting their government not to come to power. They don't say, oh, if you can lobby, why did you lobby now? Because you've been the DC or the MC for 8 good years. And you are now saying if you are elected, you now lobby and so many things. Please, for now, what our people need is what you mentioned. You mentioned the tomato glut. What happened to our one district, one factory? Were we given? Can't we leverage on our tomato season or farming to feed other schools? Why should people go to Ho to go and take tomato paste and come to the coast and to use? So my issue is very simple. I've been doing good. I've started with them. You go there, the people feel it. Even your studio or your cameras showed the graduation that I started with my people, and the roles that I've been doing, the chief's compound that I've been supporting, the students that I've been helping, supporting all over, and all different facets of life that are affected.
Unfortunately, we do have to go. So thank you so much. This is the Member of Parliament for Angloga and parliamentary candidate for Angloga constituency, Mr. Richard Sepp. Is it Sefa or Sefa?
Sefa.
Sefa,
Yes.
Okay. And then we also had the NPP parliamentary candidate, that is Seth Yomanu. And we also were joined by the assembly member for the area, that is Samuel Kofi Sebuava. Thank you all so much for joining us. But coming up next, we want to tell you more about the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair 2024. Today is day 3, but let's bring back some of the bites and sounds and sights. Is it sights and sounds? From the day 2 of the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair, and then we get into a conversation. Enjoy.
I have a dream of putting up my building.
It saves time, it saves money.
The sum of why the fair has been put together, getting everything, housing and more, under one roof. Regardless of your budget, exhibitors are making sure you become a homeowner.
We are saying that you should buy a house or land from us and pay it without interest in 5 and 2 years. After paying the 40% down payment, we'll give you 24 months, which is 2 years to pay without interest.
At this fair, we are offering a 10% discount. That's just the tip on the iceberg. We are also offering free consultation, and we have a lot of samples available like beds. We have our sofa, swivel chairs, we have carpets here. We even have our beautiful curtain fabric here. And we are still running a discount on them.
We've slashed our prices down because we want everyone to secure a plot and invest, because buying a land is actually a lifetime investment, and we want everyone to actually own a land from Ultimate Land Hub.
This year, the discounts are unbelievable, and patrons are overly excited about the offerings.
When I came previously, I think I had everything I was looking for. So this time around, I'm thinking if I come, I'm going to still get all the things I need for my building.
So this time and this year, what are you looking for?
Obviously, I need something to complete my building. It's on the scratch, so I think I will need a lot of things to get the building completed.
I'm at Chufu Praso area, and it's because of this that I came, because I'm interested in real estate and other means we can use apart from brick and mortar and the cement. So that is why I came, to explore and to get answers to my questions. That's why I came.
So when you came, have you been able to explore? Have you been able to get the answers to your questions?
Yes, I would say 80% of my questions have been answered, which is very good. It means that it's a pass mark. Yes, the companies over here, the customer service is one key thing, and I think they are doing a good job. And all that I need, you can see me in my hand. I know where to go from here when I need something, and it's a good thing. It's worthwhile traveling all the way here to have this exhibition.
The fair ends on November 2, but already the Multimedia Group Limited is being applauded for the initiative.
I would recommend anybody who has a dream of putting up a building, either for himself, for their family, or for the community, should come. I believe every year they do, and they should never stop doing it.
For Joy News, I am Hannah Odame.
Welcome back on the AM show. Let's engage Waka Now. Have you heard about them? Waka Now Ghana. They're one of the sponsors for the National Science and Maths Quiz. And they joined me in the studio this morning for a brief conversation. Gideon Amewuda is in charge of hotels and packages. He's a specialist. And Charles Asario Tutu is a visa protocol officer. Welcome, gentlemen, to the AM show.
Thank you.
So you're one of the sponsors for the National Science and Maths Quiz. So we've obviously seen you around. We've seen your posters and flyers around. But tell us a bit about what you really do in terms of Waka Now. What are you known for? Let me start with you, Charles.
Okay. Waka Now basically is everything travel.
Okay.
You know, from my angle, I'm the head of visa. We do everything when it comes to hotels, flights, airports pickup, visas, you know, a lot. Even when you want it in a way, your preference,
okay,
we'll be able to handle it for you. We have portals, you know, apps that you can also go on there and do what you want.
Okay, so Waka Now is it an app or is it a company that facilitates travel for people? And you have an app that helps you make your work easier and faster, I should add.
Yes.
That's how it works.
Yes.
Okay. So what about you, Gideon? You are a specialist in terms of hotels and packages. So tell us, what makes Wakanow different from the other travel and tour agencies that we see around?
All right, so I'll start with Wakanow being an online travel management company that makes travel build with the aim, with the mission of making travel seamless and enjoyable by building a world-class travel system manned by experienced, customer-friendly, and travel experts. So, in order to ensure our customers enjoy that seamless travel experience, we have various products and services that cuts across all aspects of travel.
Okay.
Ranging from, just like my colleague said, flights, hotel, packages, we have student fares, travel insurance, and then many more.
Everything travel.
Everything travel, yes.
So why did you decide to sponsor the National Science and Maths Quiz?
Okay, so here, we decided to sponsor this National Science and Maths Quiz just to gain more visibility that Wakanow exists. It's a travel agency that offers worldwide experience when it comes to travel. Okay,
so Charles, did you get the results that you were hoping for now that the contest is ended?
Well, you know, we are used to certain schools winning, but this year the winners, it was more like
a surprise
to everyone, and actually it's nice to get someone who is winning, mostly come out of nowhere.
Who are you supporting?
Me, I didn't support anyone.
It's me, I didn't support anyone.
I didn't support anyone at all who wins, but it's good to see them win. I guess in front of him, right? Yes, it was nice.
Okay. So now that we're having this conversation with all the work that you did for National Science and Maths Quiz, and now that we know what your brand is and what you do, what is the key takeaway that you want our audience to take from this conversation? What information that's you want to put out there? I see you're wearing something about Travel Fest Unleashed. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah. Travel Fest Unleashed. Yes. Every year, we are in November and it's Black Friday month. So, every Black Friday month, Wakanow has, great deals, great deals. I will speak for myself as a visa guy.
Yeah.
We'll be slashing, we'll be giving huge discounts for
Slash
people.
for me, I want to go to, what did you mention?
Zanzibar.
I want to go to Zanzibar for my birthday.
That's actually visa free.
It's visa free.
Okay.
Zanzibar is visa free for Ghanaians, so I guess he will give you the discount for the hotel and other stuff.
So is it open for everyone? What are the packages? Do you have to pay something? Tell us more about the Travel Fest Unleashed, Gideon.
Yeah, so we have, it's actually open for everyone. Yet we have a payment plan we call the Pay Small Small, which allows you to make a down payment and then we spread the rest, or you to make payment in installment.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So your travel date gets closer. Yeah. So it's easy to make plans when you have plans to travel. Yeah, with these products, anywhere you are, you can just give us a call and then we structure everything for you.
Talking about a call, how do we contact you? So do you have a website, your location, a phone number, Instagram, social media handles? Let's put it all out there.
Yes, so with the social media handles, so it's Wakanow GH. When it comes to phone number, it's 0242 435 515.
Please mention it again.
0242 435 515. Yeah. We also have a 24-hour call center, which is available any day, anytime.
On the number you just put out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so just like we bring travel to your doorstep. So it's easier. Anywhere you are, you just give us a call and we'll just sort you out.
Okay. I'll give you the final word.
On all social media handles, Wakanow. Just Wakanow GH.
Wakana GH across all social media platforms.
Yes.
And you would sort everybody out in terms of travel arrangements, visa, even touring the various countries and cities. Everything travel, look to Wakana. Well, thank you so much. Gideon Amewuda is hotels and packages specialist. And Charles Asario Tutu is visa protocol officer, all from Wakana GH. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sponsoring the National Science and Maths Quiz.
Thank you too.
All right, that's that for Wakana. Please do well to reach out to them. They will help you travel. I think I'll use them for my Zanzibar trip in December. There's a lot more coming your way on the AM show. We'll be right back. Now, before I tell you who's in the studio with me and what conversation is coming up next, I do want to tell you that this year's Compugana Cashback has been named as the Prime Cashback season, and it's packed with incredible deals and exciting surprises. This Prime Cashback, Compugana is bringing you exclusive discounts, prime savings, and awesome surprises when you shop products from any of their branches nationwide. You can find products from your favorite brands like Samsung, LG, TCL, HP, Lenovo, Dell, Media, Nasco, Tecno, Infinix, Itel, Huawei, and many, many more. Visit any of the Compugana branches nationwide and enjoy exclusive discounts on all products. Compugana has a wide range of IT-related products, mobile phones and electronic products such as laptops, printers, desktops, mobile phones, tablets, television sets, fridges, home theaters, air conditioners, gas cookers, and many more. What's more amazing than this? This year's Prime Cashback with Compugana has got great prices with instant gifts and cash prizes for your shopping experience. If you love shopping, hop right on it. Now, when you shop at Compugana this season, be on the lookout for the surprise team. Answer a question correctly and win instant cash gifts. You deserve this opportunity too, so rush to Compugana now. Promo runs from now to December. How good is that? Now you can visit compugana.com or simply call 0302-752020 for more information. And this is coming from Compugana. Now, in the studio with me this morning is Ezekiel Ahado. He's a sales representative from DPS Pipes and Plastics Limited. Just continuing our engagements with exhibitors and sponsors for the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair, which is underway as we speak at the Accra International Conference Center. And today is day 3. So let's get right into it. Ezekiel, welcome to the program again. Last time we had a chat, we were preparing for this grand exhibition where we have so many brands coming on board. DPS Pipes, I've seen you at the stalls at the AICC. How has it been so far?
It's been great. It's been great with the kind of people we are receiving and the kind of engagements. It's always been, wonderful, So
are we meeting your expectations?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have plans to always tag along whenever the event comes across.
I keep telling our audience that there are mouth-watering discounts and goodies and amazing deals, really, when you come to the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. What is DPS offering?
Okay, so currently at the fair, we are offering up to 15% discounts for anyone who walks into our booth, have an engagement. Just 15%? Tell us, 15%. Just tell us you have a project, this is what you want to do, bring a list, we'll make an estimate for you, then we'll take it off from there.
Okay, so now for the benefit of those who are unfamiliar with DPS Pipe, let's reiterate what you do and how important it is that they leave their homes and go to AICC for the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Tell us about DPS Pipes.
Okay, so thank you very much. So at DPS, our main mandate is to ensure that you have clean and safe water in your homes. So we are looking at giving you pipes that helps to distribute water. So we do HDP pipes, PVC pipes, PPR pipes. So most of these pipes, they are purpose for domestic activities, also mining, construction, and also agriculture as well.
Okay, so where can you be located? Is there a number to call? I mean, aside this EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair, which is right there at the AICC? Is there a number to call? Is there a website? And do you consult before, you know, purchases are made and stuff like that?
Okay, so what happens? First, let me just share the number. I think you can reach us along the motorway, adjacent KICC Church, and also for our numbers, we have 0543 662727, 0543 662727. And with your question in terms of in case someone wants to purchase, whether there's any form of consultation or anything like that, yes, you just have to call. We get whatever request you have, then we work on it for you. There's no long bureaucracy or anything. Just call. Our delivery time and everything is up to our prices as well, very, very competitive. And we have your safety in mind as well. So yeah, we make sure that every request you bring on board, we give it that much attention to make sure we deliver well. Yeah.
So 15% discount to anyone who walks to your stall at the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair.
Exactly.
Question for you. Have you been to the happy hour place yet?
Happy hour place?
Oh my God, let me tell you about happy hour. So we want people who want to visit the fair, or generally anyone coming from work, you know, wherever you're coming from, who wants to avoid the traffic jam in town, to just come to the AICC and get a drink. And while you drink, you get to shop and get that 15% discount that he just talked about. It's right there at the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair. It starts from 3 p.m. till 9 p.m. I mean, till Mama calls you. So that's the happy hour. Avoid the rush hour, really. Don't stay in traffic and, you know, waste your fuel and all that. Just drive straight to the Accra International Conference Center. You know it's in the heart of town, so you won't miss it. And get a drink. Today is day 3 of the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair. So Ezekiel, I will be there myself later today, so maybe you and I can get a drink.
Sure.
But tell me, what have you seen so far at the Habitat Fair that, let me say, would be the highlight for you?
Okay, so I think our first entry was quite an enlightenment, because it's amazing to see more of a hub with brands there ready to support and assist anybody who wants to build. You know, when you are entering into, or maybe you have a project, there's always been a lot of doubts, the kind of resources in terms of personnel, you use the items as well. But everybody is just ready to educate you and guide and assist. So it's actually a perfect initiative that Joy has come up with EcoBank, and we be sure for us to tag along always here.
Thank you so much for coming, Ezekiel. You have a final word for our audience? Okay, so
we'd just like to invite everyone to come to the Joy EcoBank Habitat Fair at AICC. So we'll be there till tomorrow. And anything that your request is, just walk into DPS Pipes. We have a lot of goodies for you to just go home with and share with the family. So, yeah.
And that there is Ezekiel Ahado, the sales representative for DPS Pipes and Plastics Limited. Everything pipes and plastic, durable, quality, affordable, they're there for you. So please make your way to the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair, currently underway at the Accra International Conference Center, and get yourself some mouth-watering deals. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Before we go, another important information you should take note of: Medicas Hospital. A modern healthcare facility built with your recovery in mind. Spacious wards built with your family in mind. A warm and caring pediatric unit also built with your children in mind. And they've assembled some of the brightest minds in medicine, led by Dr. Ya Osafo, the drive-time doctor, to serve you. And they also offer general medical services as well as specialist services in plastic surgery, obstetrics and gynecology, child health, urology, psychiatry, and eye care. Additionally, they offer a comprehensive medical diagnostic service encompassing endoscopy, medical laboratory services, x-rays, and scans. There is also a 24-hour pharmacy that ensures that you will always receive efficacious, safe, and affordable medicines. And guess what? They bring you the most powerful medicine of all time: simple human kindness and empathy. And they take pride in holding themselves to the highest attainable standards. And the icing on the cake is that they accept all forms of payment, including from private health insurance companies. So here's where to locate Medicas Hospital at number 10 Kinso Street near Asalebotre School Junction. Or you can simply call them on 0501 477 340 or reach them on social media across all social media platforms at Medicas GH. Medicas Hospital, a place of healing. Now, before we go, I want to tell you to get ready for the biggest giveaway from Syntex Tank. Syntex is giving away 15 communities free water. And this is simply to say thank you, Ghana, for making them the #1. Syntex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. And do you know that Syntex also comes in various colors and was the first to come out with inner white layer tanks? So when it's not Syntex, forget about it. Now, if you're a community and you want to benefit from the Syntex free water giveaway, just log on to their social media platforms or handles at Syntex Ghana and nominate your community. The more you nominate, the better chances you have of Syntex coming to your community. Remember, it's Syntex Tank, spelled S-I-N-T-E-X, Syntex Tank. Not be any tank be tanko, the correct tank be Syntex Tank. So log on to their social media platforms and nominate your community. Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough. At the beginning of the show, I told you that we are breaking comms on the 3rd annual seminar from Girl Get Up Africa. Girl Get Up Seminar 3.0 is happening on the 23rd of November 2024 at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly Auditorium. It's called the Snap Cinema. Registration or participation is absolutely free. If you're a small or medium enterprise or a business owner, a female business owner who wants to exhibit your goods on the day, simply call 024-871-6087. Also, let me use the opportunity to say thank you to individuals who've been helping us, GCB, Divine from Germany, and so many individuals whose names I can't get to right now who've been supporting us. You know, Girl Get Up Africa is a non-profit organization, and our goal is simply to transform lives and create leaders, you know, reorient young people to live the best that they can and be successful. So please, remember, if you still want to support us or you want to showcase your goods on the day, 23rd of November, simply call 024-871-6087 and we'll get you sorted. Remember, it's the 3rd edition of the Girl Get Up Seminar on the 23rd of November. We'll be back after this short break. Thank you.
Welcome back. This is the AM show, and it's about time. We're about to cap it all off, but my in-house guest is here. Mary Poppins is popping out. There she is, the Anglo.
I'm popping.
Anglo baby.
Did you say I'm popping?
Yeah, Mary Poppins is popping. Yeah. I didn't know popping. You know, there was a chair here when the EcoBank, if our director can put it up, there was a chair, this chair. We're rooting for you while you were here to sit in the chair.
Sure, a seat.
Go ahead. Would you like to take a seat?
I would rather be heading to the AICT later on this afternoon for the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair that is happening. Today is day 3. Benjamin, you really should go there and see the...
What makes you think I've not passed through?
Oh, have you? Okay. Then maybe. Oh, you should have told me because I went on a different day, so I didn't see you there.
Well.
Yeah.
It's big like that.
Yeah.
But you should pass through between now and the end. Over the weekend, we're still going to be there. Anything, everything, housing, anything you can think of, will be there. So just pass through and you'll get some of the best deals. Like the best deals you can get anywhere in Ghana. Make a date. Let's get through it. But before we go, I'll be telling you about Zero Africa. But before that, our photo of the day. I want to know how you will caption this. Let's get that photo on.
While we get the photo of the day.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah. How would you caption this?
Out of the abundance of the bin, the floor surface.
Out of the abundance of the bin, the floor surface. My caption is Accra, the cleanest city in Africa.
Hey. Hey, whoa. But thank you so much to Eunice Odame Fashion and Woodine. This fabric is from Woodine, and Eunice Odame Fashion made it for me. It's beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much.
She got you into Mary Poppins mode. Well, I'd like to salute Siru Africa as always, Muda Siru, for always clothing me, making me look mwah, 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 like sister will be saying. And if you'd like to call him, you can reach him on 0557 029 138, 0557 029 138, or at SIRU-Africa on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. Check him out. You'll never be, sad that you did. You'll be glad you actually did that. My name is Benjamin Akako.
I was going to say my name is Benjamin Akako. My name is, my name. My name is Sweetie Abochi. This is our show for the week. Thank you so much for joining us. We're back on Monday, but please stay for Joy News Desk with Faustina Safo. Mwah.